Hello and welcome to my stream. Tonight we'll play more of RollerCoaster Tycoon Deluxe. Freaking finally, right? It's been forever since I last streamed and also this game, but we gotta continue playing Octagon Park. Last time, which I believe was in the beginning of February or something, we were able to finish the third important coaster, the third gym coaster. It was the rock type coaster, right? And then we were adjusting it because when we first built it, it wasn't really getting to the conditions of the level. But then we spent the last stream just making the changes. Some of those changes had to happen even though I liked the previous design more, but I had to go for the changes still because the coaster was super intense. And then the higher the intensity, the lower the excitement, especially if it gets to like extreme levels, and then also the nausea rating was a problem. But after making it less intense by also adding some larger turns and also not really making lots of zigzags and stuff, at least I believe those were some of the changes I worked on last time. We were able to get to some balancing there, and then now the coaster works and it fits the requirements. And then by the end of the last stream, I was then asking the chat, like, what's next? And then Electro gave us the suggestion to go for the inverted coaster. And that's hopefully going to be the psychic type. So today, first, I'll need to go around the park, remind myself of everything, remember how to play this game, remember how to speak in English, remember how to stream even, because it's been almost 10 days, I think. But it's because I was super busy in real life, a lot has happened, for most part positive things. Although there is always something that, will make things to not be perfect. So yeah, there is something still bugging me, but hopefully it won't bug me for much longer, or I don't know, hopefully something happens about this one thing that makes things to be even better in my current state of life, right? But let's see how will that go as well. But regarding the game, I need to go around the park to remind myself of everything, to also fix some things, because, for example, I remember I spent a lot of time in the previous coaster, and the park was kind of looking bad because the prices were too high for the guests. So I need to go and check the rides again, maybe replace some old rides into new ones, and also drop some prices for the tickets, all of that. Also, maybe check the staff because probably there are broken things everywhere. Maybe I will need more security guards, mechanics, handyman, pandas, who knows. But let's go for it because I gotta start the hard work on my level. And then hopefully, if I cannot really finish the fourth coaster, because these coasters they give me a lot of trouble, then I hope I can have at least the idea planned, and then next stream I just work on the adjustments, which, by the way, as my schedule has been completely random and completely, I don't know, it's not a schedule anymore, I guess, for a couple weeks, right? Here's what I will be doing though. Next time I'm streaming, I think I will play this again instead of going to Sable, because this game was really getting behind as I was skipping many Wednesdays in a row, right? So not only today, which is not a Wednesday, but I'm trying to bring this game again or play this again. In case I do stream again and it's not Sunday, because Sunday will still be for Golden Sun. That's also another game that's been forever since I last played it. Next stream, I'm like coming in, and then it's during the weekdays or in a Saturday. I think I'll play this at least once again before thinking about returning to Sable. That could be tomorrow, that could be who knows when, but I don't know, I'll need to see how things are, how things go, and then I will be able to play it again, right? Anyway, let's go for the game. Here we are, Octagon Park. This long-lasting level, just like Icarus Park. Icarus Park got to year 60 something. This one is getting to year 23, right? But I can already say it's 23, but it's going to be much more than that, as we are only getting to almost half of the objective right now, right? Because there are still 2 more coasters until half. Thankfully, this next coaster, I think it's going to be easier, because it's more versatile than the previous coaster, the Wild Mouse roller coaster. I believe that was the previous one. So I need to check the guest thoughts, and also, yeah, look at that. Everything is empty. Oh Jesus, this is going to give me a lot of trouble. Let's start with gold and silver. Okay, it's this one. I'm not sure if the roller coaster fans or people will be able to stop by today, because normally, like I said, this game is my Wednesday game. And when I also skip playing this on Wednesdays, I normally play this on Fridays. But I don't know, maybe Cool, maybe Electro, maybe somebody else, maybe Surrey, or maybe somebody else could stop by to like check this game again. Maybe Emily, it's been forever since I have talked to Emily. But yeah, I hope those people, they can see that I'm playing this, or maybe they can check the VOD as well eventually. So 260 was not enough. Wait. 220? Not yet. $2. I have the feeling we might need to kinda cheese the level by adding lots of random shuttle loops, or maybe Wobbellies or Roro drops and those rides. Maybe go-karts as well. So we can kind of farm money by using those rides. And then they will not be really for the aesthetics of the level, it's just really to farm money. Yeah, because look at this, I'm dropping the prices a lot, and they are still not really getting in. $1? Not even $1? Uh, 80 cents? Man, what the heck? 50? Somebody entered, right? Yes, one person entered, so 50 cents is the price. Hopefully I can still get some money from the photos, because I haven't changed the price for the photos. Let's come here to Ruby and Sapphire. I think it's going to be the same, right? $1, is that good? Then 80. Yeah, 50 then. 50 cents. Okay, those two coasters are kind of fixed. Then we have this Oddish. During the rain, it's going to be harder for me to really check if my price change will have an effect. But man, I kind of don't wanna. I should though. I should build a new one. It's just a blue one, right? It is kinda. Okay, it's that blue and green. Let's redo Nodish then. Okay. There we go. Then the 3D cinema, it's not getting anybody. $1, can I make it half? Half price? 40 cents? You know what? Let's do it again. So we have white and red, okay. Yeah, this is the bad thing about this game, right? Also, hi Electro, what's up, man? Sorry for the long wait for me to be streaming this game, right? But how are you doing? I was saying when I started the stream, although I don't want to make any promises because my schedule has been all crazy and then there is no schedule anymore. But the next day I play something. In a day that's not Sunday. I'm thinking about playing this again. So I can kinda make it up for the Wednesdays and other days that I kinda skipped, right? Yeah, so I'm thinking about bringing this again. Whenever I can, right? Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, I don't know. Before going back to Sable, or before maybe going to a more normal schedule again. But how are you doing? Earlier today, or maybe I should say actually just before starting the stream, I checked the Gorillas video you post on Discord, and I was surprised, like, how did that collab happen, right? It's funny how the music does sound very Brazilian, thanks to that MC, right? MC Bin Laden, but I gotta tell ya that it's not really my music style. I do like Gorillaz though, but also some songs, not really everything. It was a good song, don't get me wrong. I did not like hate it, but it was a crazy mix for sure. Yes, I was not expecting that at all. How's life been? With its ups and downs, but there is... It's funny how, I was even saying this like very briefly in the beginning of the stream. It's funny when things are looking super great and then suddenly there is something that instantly goes super bad, you know? It's like, it feels like it's too early to celebrate. At the same time, I don't want to believe that it's like super bad. Maybe it's just my bad thoughts, or maybe it's just me, I don't know, making the situation worse than what it is. I'm trying to also look at it this way, but I'm kinda, you know, very happy in one part and kinda disappointed on another part, but I will just let time go and, you know, let time pass by and then it does whatever it wanna do, because I'm tired of also like trying to, let's say, make things my way when things are not necessarily my way either. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to sit and wait, and then if it is to be, then sure, if it is not to be, then I tried, I guess. And then let's focus on the good stuff and not really on the problems, right? So you're doing well now that work is cooling down. Nice to hear it, man. Yeah, get some rest, go out more. Also, that winter is hopefully getting warmer there, right? As you guys are getting closer to spring. Yeah, try going out more, exercise, right? This is my year of exercising. This week was my first Pilates week. So today I had my second class. I got some action into some muscles I didn't know I have. It's so funny because I was sneezing like before starting the stream, and then my belly was hurting in places I didn't know it could hurt if I sneeze. So it's super weird, but I'm actually liking it a lot because I'm also realizing when people say that, oh, physical activity, it releases hormones in your body and then you can feel happy or stuff. It is true. Like, for the first time ever, I'm starting to feel the hormones I have heard that people feel when they are exercising. I'm starting to feel that for the first time, because when I go for a walk, I don't normally feel that. Or when I play a sport, for example, I used to like playing volleyball. I also don't feel those hormones. But now that I'm doing Pilates and then I'm doing some more localized exercising, it does feel good. It's so funny because it's kind of tiring and it hurts when you are performing the exercise. But as soon as you release it, as soon as you leave it, as soon as you end it, you feel like some sort of reward from your body. It's super crazy. But then after the whole class, you kind of feel weird because you have some parts of your body aching, but it's of course going to get better with time and then more practice, right? But it's been working great so far. Also, regarding my, let's say, body pain, especially in my neck and shoulders, I also realized that a lot of it was thanks to my pillow. So I changed my pillow because I got that proof when I was like, when I went to bed in one day feeling without any pain. I was like, I'm feeling super good, so let's go to a good sleep. And then when I woke up, my shoulder was like hurting like crazy. I was like, no, this happened to me because of my pillow. And then I had to inspect it, and then I took some photos or pictures of myself laying on it. And then I saw that my head was kind of turned up, right? So that was probably causing pain in my cervical spine plus shoulders. And then I was like, what am I going to do? Because this used to be my pillow that for many years, like lots of years, it used to be the only pillow that I used to sleep comfortably. And then suddenly it's now my worst enemy out of nowhere. Hence why I did not suspect it would be the reason. I was thinking, oh, it's bad posture, it's anxiety, it's like lack of exercising. And then I was like, it can't be my pillow because this is actually my favorite pillow. It's the one that I could sleep somewhat well for many years, but just now in this month, it sucked. And then after taking the pictures, I had the proof because, yeah, my head is not looking very good in here. So luckily I had an old pillow inside of my shelf, and then it was the only one from the pillows in my house that I could take the photos and see that my head was kind of linear with all my spine. So I'm now getting used to this new pillow, and it's been working. At least I haven't awakened. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. I haven't slept and woke up after feeling pain thanks to that. When the pain returned, it was probably for some other reasons, either stress, either bad posture, or like when I went out to play Pokemon Go, once I returned home, I felt a little bit uncomfortable, but nothing very bad as when it began. Wait, when it began, right? There we go, when it began. So it's been getting better. But yeah, my pillow turned into my worst enemy. So I changed my pillow, and then hopefully this new pillow can be better for me. So Gorillaz is pretty experimental. Yeah, this was insane in my opinion. They do all sorts of collaborations. I do wonder how it sounds to like other people, to people that don't speak Brazilian Portuguese, right? Like I was saying, to me the song was not my favorite, even though it was good, but not really something that I would listen to regularly, because the Brazilian Portuguese rhyming and rapping and everything, it sounds a lot like what I normally hear in here already that I don't like. So that's the thing, you know. Maybe if it was the same melody but in English, I could have a better chance of liking it more. But I do have a certain, let's say, dislike to a lot of Brazilian songs that we have in here that are more popular. I should also tell you that I don't know any other song by the same artist that collabed with Gorillaz, like MC Bin Laden, right? I don't know any other song by him because that's not what I normally listen to. I know his name is somewhat famous in here, but I don't know anything about him because it's just not my thing. You were just thinking of going to the gym. You didn't go last week. Oh, so you have been working out too? There we go, man. That's good to realize that it's an easy fix indeed. Yes, it was like I told you, I went to bed feeling good, and then once I woke up next day, I'm like with a big and annoying random pain in my shoulder. I'm like, no, this is the pillow. So even though I was not really thinking it could have been it, it was it, or at least a big part of that. But yeah, also thankfully I have been adapting myself to the new pillow because I'm kinda picky, or it is somewhat hard for me to sleep under different conditions that I'm used to, but I have been able to do it. So hopefully I can get more and more used to this new pillow, right? It's been, I don't know, maybe 5 days since I have been sleeping with it, and it's been okay. It is just very different than my previous pillow because this one is softer. But when I place my head on it, it does get more linear with the rest of my body. I have probably mentioned I can recognize Portuguese because it sounds Spanish, but you don't understand it. That's a good way to identify it, right? Yeah, they do sound a lot like, even though they are very different too, especially because I would say at least most of times Spanish is faster. But it depends on the Portuguese accent as well. But in my opinion, Spanish is normally faster than Portuguese. It goes very fast. But yeah, I was also thinking that even though I don't listen to those songs, or like I don't listen to a lot of Brazilian music and stuff like that, I think the way the language sounds could be appealing to especially foreigners, because Portuguese is a very beautiful and melodical language in my opinion. But yeah, it's just that the music genres that are the most popular, especially here in Brazil, are not my favorite. And then what plays in the radio, what plays on like Spotify top charts of like most heard Brazilian songs, it's just not my taste. But it's pretty much what everybody in here listens to. So I kinda escape to listen to international music, pretty much. And then sometimes I find one or another Brazilian song, but it's very rare. Golem right here has lots of brown. Yeah, lots of brown. I don't know if I'll be able to remember all of those exact colors, but I hope I can. Okay. I'm trying to build newer rides because they were complaining about the prices and everything. I think it was this one, this one, this one, then the darker brown, right? And then I forgot what was this one. Maybe the lighter brown? Yes, I think this is a good approach of how it was before. Let's go with 350. That's wrong. There we go. But still, regarding gorillas, my favorite song is probably 192000. Yes, I do like that song a lot. This one is Electrode. Then maybe second place it could be Feel Good Inc. The Ferris wheel is also with some trouble in here. Can I drop its price? They only go for it if it... No, 20 cents? Okay, I will leave it at 20 cents. The merry-go-round is broken. Those are the colors, okay. Merry-go Rapidash. I can build a new one. Let me check the colors again. It's the lighter and darker. Okay, oranges. Man, the mechanics are inside of every ride, right? Every time I demolish one ride, the mechanic is right there. It's because everything is also breaking down. Um, they don't stop breaking down on how old and bad they are. Let's set this at $2. By the way, Electro, you are like the person that kind of introduced me to this game, so I don't know much about it, but I do remember that I have seen some vague news that Kerbal 2 is kind of coming up very soon if it's already not out, and then I'm not sure, right? But I do remember seeing somewhere, like very briefly, that Kerbal 2 was like super close by. If it is already not released. And then I wonder, like, are you playing it day one or something? This was Merry-Go Rapidash. Oh, you do have it, so is it really out already? Oh no, it is very buggy. Oh, what's going on? Have you been playing it already? Like, have you been streaming it? I'll need to go, wait, see through scenery. I need to get rid of the freaking mountain in here. Remove vertical faces. Oh, this is going to suck. Oh my god. I can't do anything else, right? Baseland? Oh, Baseland. No, it's still not helping me. Okay, I will change the landscape again. Baseland? Okay, wait. So supposedly the publisher pushed them to release it early alpha for full price, but they are committed to keep working on it. Why do the publishers do that, right? It sounds just like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And then look at them still today trying to work on fixes. But to be fair, the last update, the last patch, I was actually checking those news today. The last patch on Pokemon, it was a very good one. There are still problems, of course, but it did fix a lot of things. But why do they do that? Let things be delayed, like... I understand it's kinda annoying for like the fans that are waiting, but... it is more just, you know? And it is what it is, like, if the game is not fully ready, then don't rush, you know? It's better to have a healthy release than being known by, like, a buggy release, right? And then the stuff that does work is really nice. It has a new user interface, better graphics, and music. And then also more customization, nice. I wonder, I mean, I don't know a lot about the game, right? I only have a vague idea of the game, and that idea came from you. But I wonder if you'll be able to explore more galaxies? Like, is that a thing? Could you go to new galaxies even, like, farther than before? Because then I would suppose that's the coolest thing about the game. Like, being able to reach other areas in the universe that you couldn't before. Or maybe upgraded graphics, like you said. maybe seeing some planets and, you know, stars with like better graphics. But if I were a player of Kerbal, I think I would like to go to new areas. That could also mean that maybe the station could be located at somewhere else in the universe, right? What if they also change the location of the station? And then that new location could be closer to new areas as well. Maybe in another galaxy, in another, I don't know, area. So there are new solar systems, look at that. It's one of the big upcoming features. And then currently it has the same planets and moons as before. Oh, it's going to still be an update for the future? But they were kinda redesigned. Alright, at least they are working on that change. Yeah, I think that's a very important change. Man, I kinda regret messing with this haunted house right now. Even the new merry-go-round I just built is breaking down? Wait, then now how am I placing the entrance and the exit if I can't see anything? They were probably on the back? Citrus scenery, Citrus rides. Man, I don't remember how was this before though. I think they were there, but I'm not sure. Or maybe they were underground, is that a possibility? Oh, I think they were underground. Right? It is, look at that, people are entering it. Okay, so I think I found a way. Even though I rotated it, right? The entrance, I mean, not the station. The station is on the other side, but like the house entrance or house door is flipped or turned. But I will keep it. Underground view. Let me get these right here. What I mean is that it's not perfect as it was before, but also by doing this, I think you can't even notice, right? Yeah, you see? There we go. Wait, oh my god. I couldn't find those flowers right there because I'm like, wait, no, there is no flower that's that color. But then I realized, oh, they are that color because they are dead. Oops. Yeah, I forgot about that. Nobody's there watering the plants. Although I do think I left one handyman for that job, but he disappeared. As they always do, right? The staff of this game is like, you hire them to do things, but they always teleport. I'm pretty sure if I get to like a corner of this level, there will be a handyman in there for no reason. Anyway, I will not save those plants there. I will be streaming it again pretty late tomorrow. Oh, you also have been playing Hogwarts Legacy? I heard people have been liking the game a lot. it just makes me sad that there was the whole controversy. But then I wanna believe that most people that are playing the game, they can separate things. Like they can understand that the game and then the universe of Harry Potter and those things are like very good. Although the opinions of J.K. Rowling can be, you know, very bad, problematic, and then like don't agree with everything. Yeah, I just hope that people can have like a differentiation, like make the difference in their minds. Instead of like, oh, I love Harry Potter, so everything J.K. Rowling does, then I agree, then you know, not like that. I like the scenery and landscaping around the wooden coaster. Man, this was straight up random, you know? I was like getting uh, the whole trees options that there were there, and then, you know, placing them randomly. But then because it had to be a very long coaster, I decided to extend it to the rest of the park that was close by, which was this mountain that was like the rock tunnel. Yeah, the rock tunnel. And then this one reference to Lavender Town in Pokemon as well, that has the haunted tower or the haunted house. There, by the way, give me a second because there is a notification from Epic Games just in front of my roller coaster window that's telling me about Genshin Impact. Epic Games, I still have never played Genshin Impact. I wish that someday I do play it, but I don't need to know about Genshin Impact's updates right now, right? There we go, I just closed the pop-up. My thoughts are that it takes hundreds of people to make a game. Indeed, you know, that is something to value for sure. It's just that don't agree with every single thing that she does or she thinks, because sometimes people can be easily influenciated by whoever they watch, whoever they follow, whoever they pay attention to, and then that's the problem, you know. So like, be aware to make your decisions to like agree and disagree to what is right and what's wrong. And then I want to believe that most players of Hogwarts Legacy, they are aware of like this game is good and this game is like, let's say, it's going to like help those that worked on it, but it doesn't mean that I agree with what she has been saying about the trans people. Which, by the way, I haven't followed the updates, but I did hear that she was going to go, I don't know, into an interview of some sort and kind of have, I don't know, some opinions and statements about this whole deal. When I kind of heard about it, this like opportunity she wanted to have to like speak about the situation, it made it sound that she would somewhat say that she was sorry or something, but I'm not sure. And then after I saw the headlines of that, I never heard of this again, so I'm not sure if it has happened or not. But I did remember right now that I saw something about that she wanted to speak up about that matter, and maybe with a different opinion, but then I'm not sure what happened about that. But anyway, I also don't want to be bringing that up in here. But then, I'm glad to know that you are enjoying the game at least. Unfortunately, this situation did kinda drop my hype a little, but to be honest, man, it's been kinda hard for me to get very excited for the hyped games. For example, I was also mentioning Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. The situation about it being released glitchy and everything also dropped me off the game. And that sucked because when I was watching the trailers, I was excited for it, and then after what I saw the Pokemon Company has done, yeah, my hype was kinda gone. So one person shouldn't have that much influence, yeah. Random trees is a popular scenery strategy because it feels more natural, right? Yeah, it feels more natural. The colors also really help it out. To make this a good coaster. I also just noticed that there are two trees that are, you know, very tall right there. Those two look very good. I'm not sure if they are the same trees, maybe not. They are, okay, but they look very good in there, right? Let's see what else can I change. I can change the... Wait, this should be Lavender Tower. I can change the trick house. There we go. And then I should also change Clefairy saucers. The colors are, let's say, dark pink. And then some, I don't know, salmon color for the saucers. Oh, and then the floor is white. Okay. Have you been watching The Last of Us, Electro? You like using tall trees around the tall track sections? Yeah, because then it can reach it, right? It can reach the track. Like a row of tall palm trees along the lift hill. Are the palm trees that tall though? Dude, here in Brazil, especially in the Botanic Park in Rio, there are some super tall palm trees and they are beautiful. Yeah, those palm trees were brought here since like the colonization. Yeah, Portugal brought those here. I mean, never mind, I'm exaggerating. Not really like when Brazil was discovered and found. No, 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 it was when the royal family was like visiting Brazil eventually, and then I think it was during the imperialism, hopefully that's the word in English. And then they were working in Rio because Rio was the capital of Brazil for a period. At least, I mean, I'm bad in history. I'm sorry if I'm talking BS, right? But I know they brought those huge palm trees and they are amazing. Because they are very, very, very tall. So I wonder how many years it lasts, or maybe I should say how many years it took, right? For them to grow that tall. And then also how old are they? Because I do think they are as old as when the royal family brought them here. You have not seen The Last of Us yet? Wait, you have started JoJo, man? And then you're now watching The Mandalorian. So I heard that I have never watched The Mandalorian, and also I don't know anything about Star Wars. But somebody told me, like, these days, that the person that is in The Mandalorian, which is actually the Mandalorian himself, is the same actor as the guy from The Last of Us, Pedro Pascal. I'm not sure if that information is also correct, but I was a bit surprised to know that. And then this one person told me that in The Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal is like always wearing a mask, because it seems that the Mandalorian should never be seen without a mask, but behind the mask, it's the same actor. So I was kinda, mind blown by that. Okay, so yeah, you see? I had no idea about that either, but I was kinda surprised that first was the same actor, second, that the Mandalorian shall never reveal his face or something. Okay, but then it seems it's the same guy. And then, what did you think about JoJo, man? JoJo, in my opinion, is one of the craziest animes I have ever watched. I need to go back to it, by the way, because I was finishing the last season on Netflix. But I only watched episode 1 of the third part of like Stone Ocean. Yeah, the arc is called Stone Ocean. But the episode was very weak. It was not very exciting to me, so I kinda gave up right after it, but I will go back still to hope that the other episodes will get to a better speed or better flow, and then I can get into JoJo again. But the way it started was very like, I don't know, very boring even. But yeah, JoJo is an anime that I don't think it's for everybody. It is a very experimental anime. It's very, you either like it or hate it. Actually, you also experience both things together. I have also heard that impression from other people, and then that was also my impression. There were like phases. For example, I started not liking it, and then by the end of the season I liked it. Or like the opposite. Season 2 it started bad to me, but then by the end of season 2 I started liking it. You know, it kind of keeps on going up and down. But then, yeah, it is very experimental. It is stylish. It has its charm for sure. It has its like characteristics that are very unique. But still, it is not for everybody. I was just lucky enough that seasons 3 and 4 had things that hit me hard regarding my personal tastes. But that was like super coincidental in my opinion. Because I can totally see people that will not have that sort of connection to those seasons of JoJo. Because it was something very particular to me. And then I was lucky enough to have that happening to me. I can even kind of mention it very vaguely, but seasons 3 and 4 will have something to do with tarot reading, which is something that I like, and also there is like something that I made like a personal connection to Persona, which is one of my favorite RPGs, and then that's how I really liked those 2 seasons. But yeah, I can totally see like a person watching that doesn't give a shit to tarot reading and also hates Persona, and then the person may not connect to that season that much, right? But yeah, it was on those seasons that I really loved JoJo. But then after that, at season 5, it was okay-ish. Season 6 has been so-so too, but then let's see how it's going to end. It is a very crazy show for sure. I think season 1 is too corny, and the characters were stereotypical. They were very stereotypical. Actually, many characters are stereotypical. We'll be starting season 2 in a Discord channel. Man, I think that season 2 is better than season 1 in my opinion. Yes, I did prefer season 2 for sure. Maybe because season 1... it's like you have no idea what the show will be about, and then I was super impressed by what it was about, so I kinda have some time to get used to what they were doing. Because when I started JoJo, I didn't know anything, and then I was like, this is what they're doing? You know, so I had some time to like get used to that. But then season 2, it has some good characters in my opinion. I know shows sometimes get better after the first season or 2, that is correct. Like BoJack Horseman, I have never watched that. But I think BoJack Horseman is one of those... it's one of those cartoons that they either have some humor, right? They are like a comedy show, but at the same time they can also be very dark, right? Because they can be very dramatic too. And talk about some heavy... topics, right? But I kinda see it as a somewhat comedy show, but it can be a dark comedy as well. This was Mr. Mime's Circus. But regarding JoJo, I do hope you prefer it within the seasons. But I will not judge you or like be any surprised in case you don't like JoJo at all. Because also, the seasons change a lot too. You see that season 2 is somewhat very different than season 1, and season 3 is completely different than everything. So be ready for some changes for sure. But Yeah, JoJo is not for everybody, but it is very interesting at least. So the bumper cars was Magnezone. Okay, so gray, blue, and red, and then gray again and yellow. Gray, blue, and red, yellow. I wonder what brought you to JoJo, Electro. You know what I have been watching? I have been rewatching Inuyasha. Yeah, it's been my before I sleep show. I think I said blue, gray, red, right? And then yellow down here. Yes, maybe this is not exact, but those were the colors. Let's charge it $2.40 and change the name. Let me get a quick save. This is Hitmontop. It's funny that there is a ride in here called Hitmontop because this next week Hitmontop and also Hitmonchan and Hitmonlee, they will be in an event in Pokemon Go. I already have the shiny Hitmontop, so I won't be really looking for him that much in that event. But I will go after shiny Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, right? The colors in here are blue and brown, okay. Oh yeah, it is a thrill ride, I forgot about that. So, the Discord streamer you mentioned is a huge JoJo. Oh my god, he is. Look at that, look at those emotes. But he doesn't have, at least out of those 4 emotes, he doesn't have my... not really my favorite, but one of my favorite characters, yeah. And then she's been streaming it to Discord on Fridays. That makes it more entertaining. Yes, I think that makes it more entertaining for you to like watch the show, especially because she loves it. So her excitement to JoJo could, you know, make it more interesting to follow than if you were watching it by yourself or alone, right? It is what they say that, like, when people do what they like doing or what they love doing, it gets more captivating for you to either start doing it too or liking it too. So yeah, maybe now thanks to that Discord channel, you might be able to like JoJo more than if you were watching it by your own. But then I wonder if she has, let's say, her problems on JoJo too, right? Because I don't think it is a perfect show. It has some ups and downs, like I told you. Hitmontop was blue and brown. There we go. But to be honest, Electro, I do think JoJo is overhyped. Yes, I think JoJo is overhyped. I understand its cultural impact because it was like a very old anime. It was like something that helped to sell mangas back in the day. And then, you know, it was one of the early things anime slash manga created. So it has like a huge importance in that industry. But I think it is a little bit overhyped. It is quite creative though. There are some fights in the show that are like no other. This Beldam in here, oh my god, so many colors. Okay, dark blue, light blue, and then maroon, and then red. Oh my god, okay. Dark blue, blue, and maroon red. Let's try. It's probably going to take a while until you get to see this one character that I was saying that I kind of wish she had an emote of him. But his name is Ponaroth. Yeah, I kind of forgot the rest of his name, like the first name, but his surname is Ponaroth. Yeah, that character is like very unique. But it's going to take some time until you meet him. I said dark blue. Oh my god, dark blue, blue, and then maroon and red, yes. And then this one was dark blue too. There we go. And this was Belden, right? This can be more expensive actually. Let's raise it to $4, $4.20 maybe. Now we have Ariadas, and it's like purple and red, okay. Electro, have you been cooking lately? I remember you used to get those recipe meals, right, for you to cook at home. Have you been trying anything interesting lately? Man, I found the rice noodles at the grocery store, but I still forgot, or I still haven't bought it myself. Up to the end of the year, I need to do that, right? At least once. Because I finally found it. And gladly it was in my regular grocery store, not really in the one that has like some more foreign products, and it's specialized in those. And it's also very busy, like it gets very crowded in there, at least from my impressions or from what I heard. So it may not be, let's say, that comfortable to go there and buy things because it's probably going to be crowded. At least during like the rush hour and then when everybody is doing some shopping. Maybe there are specific times it could be more empty. But now that I found it in my regular grocery store, it's much better and comfier for me to get it there. I just need to remind myself to do it too. By the way, I forgot, wait, it was purple and red, right? Yes, it was this. Let's raise this too, maybe 320. The motion simulator is Porygon. I think this is the last ride. So it's like blue and pink, okay. I mean, it's not really the last ride because there are the water rides, then the swinging ships, blue and pink. But at least like I changed many rides already thanks to this long avenue. Yes, I was missing those down there. Lake Verity. Oh, I can drop this. 40 cents? No? Really? That's my guard. Oh, okay, one person... they went for 10 cents. I take it. We also have the Sharpedo in here. People are still going for it, so sure. We have drones in the swinging ship. Let me drop it to $1. Then the swinging inverter ship is its evolution, which is Hypno. Let's drop that too. Can I keep it at 150? No, drones is still expensive too, right? Maybe 60 cents? Okay, 60 cents got one person. And then this one, maybe $1. Okay, it got one person here too. Right? There we go. Then we have our last roller coaster, which was this one, the Rock Gym. It's still getting people in, even though it's slow AF, because to avoid getting crashes, we gotta play safe, which means one car only. So you guys gotta be patient in that queue. We have this coaster too, and it's still bumping. Yeah, the steel coaster. Look at that, okay. With that, I think I checked everything, right? That's my park so far. I was able to get more people in after the changes. I'm not sure if they are complaining about, like, lack of bathrooms, lack of everything, vandalism. They are thirsty, hungry, bathroom. Oh, the grass coaster is expensive. Let me correct my posture a little bit. Yes, I forgot about those rides. I forgot about lepras right here. Are people still coming in? I'm not paying. Okay, so let's drop this price. I dropped it too much though. 60 cents? 60 cents, okay. The other one I forgot was the grass coaster. We were talking about it, but I forgot to check its price. Maybe $1? Maybe I can make it higher. 120? No, they really want $1 then. Yeah, $1 it is. Also, hi Pilot, what's up, man? To play it safe? Safety is not how capitalists get rich. Just slap a warning label on some ride or on the ride for liability purposes and then make some money. Dude, but what about people's lives? How much is a person's life, Pilot? Think about that, man. How's it going, Pilot? I gotta tell you that I have started my Pilates. And this was like the first week of Pilates, actually. Today I had my second class. I'm liking it a lot. I was studying a lecture that for the first time I understood what people meant by like, oh, I exercise and then I feel the hormones and then I feel happy. It's true. I'm starting to feel that for the first time ever. When I just go for a walk or when I play sports, I don't feel the hormones that much. But then when there is like this one focused exercising, it does make you happy as soon as you, of course, end the repetitions, right? So, because like you suffer during the repetition and then as soon as it's over, then your body kind of rewards you somewhat. And then regarding my neck pain and shoulder pain and everything, the posture as well, one big problem was my pillow in the end. Yes, I realized that my head was kind of getting raised, or it was, you know, in a diagonal or in an upper diagonal when I was sleeping. That was making me to wake up with like a worse pain. And then once I noticed it was the pillow, I changed the pillow too, which was surprising to me because I slept with that pillow for years. It was my favorite pillow, it was the only one I could sleep well actually. And then out of nowhere, like this month, it is my worst enemy. But then I'm working, or like I'm sleeping with like a new pillow that I found in my shelf. And after checking it, it seems that it makes me horizontal, right? My spine gets horizontal, and then my head is not uh, turned anymore to the upper direction. And then since then, I haven't woken up feeling pain anymore. A life is only worth as much as the amount of money they have left to give your theme park. And then I ask you, what if you don't have a theme park? Does that mean that they don't value anything? Because from what you're saying, people's values are based on how much money they give to your theme park. But if you don't have a theme park, that amount of money is zero. So like people's value equals zero. Am I getting anywhere, Pilot? Is that like the origins of real capitalism? Correct? Oh my god, Pilot. Jesus, man. Pilot, do you like Star Wars? I know you like Star Trek, right? Oh yeah, you do like Star Wars because you also want me to play Knights of the Old Republic. Do you watch The Mandalorian? Because I was talking to Electro that I learned this week that the guy that is the Mandalorian in that show is also the guy that's in The Last of Us that I have been watching, Pedro Pascal. And then I don't think you are watching The Last of Us, right? But you might be watching The Mandalorian. Can anybody tell me actually why? I mean, I don't know anything about Star Wars, but why does The Mandalorian need to be wearing a mask? Because that was the information I got. The Mandalorian guy is the same actor as the main protagonist, or at least one of the main protagonists in The Last of Us. Plus, he needs to be wearing a mask every time because he can't remove the mask. Why is that shit? Is it cultural? Because it could be cultural. I mean, cultural regarding the show, right? You kinda like Star Wars, but you're becoming less of a fan. That sounds a little bit like me regarding, let's say, the newest Pokemon games. Although I still love Pokemon Go, right? I played a lot of Pokemon Go this week, and then I was saying on Discord that I was kind of busy in real life. It's because there is this Pokemon Go friend that invited me to play with him like many days in a row. So we were like meeting 4 times in the past 6 days. And I gotta say that was incredible and very great because it was like a very good company too. But we played the heck out of Pokemon Go and I'm loving it too. But then the main Pokemon games, it's like a disappointment after disappointment, not to mention this Pokemon Direct that was very bad. So he's always wearing a helmet because he is a tenet of the warrior's code of his people. It's just like a custom, not a custom, sorry, that's not the word in English, I'm translating it from Portuguese. It's just the tradition, right? It's kind of samurai-like. But do people know who he is? Like, who's behind the mask? Because sometimes people are forbidden, right, to see who's wearing the mask. We are not planning to watch any of the new Star Wars stuff personally. The Book of Boba Fett was so bad that I'm off with the bandwagon. I did hear that some of the, let's say, worst movies were some of the last releases, right? Because normally would think, oh, the first trilogy of movies were so damn old, they had like very big limitations with their animations or like graphics and stuff. But then those movies probably have aged or something. But then people still say no, those movies are actually the best even today because what they have been releasing nowadays hasn't been too great. But then you can kind of analyze that in many directions. Like it can be because of the plot, because of the music, because of the graphics, because of the acting as well. Actually, a lot of things about that show are based on westerns and early Japanese movies. Interesting. You just made me think on like the Last Samurai movie as well. Lots of people loved Endor because it was so different than other Star Wars stories. What was Endor again? Was it one of the movies or was it like a side story? Because I also think there might be some side stories or side shows, like cartoons or maybe live actions. Do you guys think they will be milking from Star Wars forever? They might, right? Just like what they do with Pokemon, for example, or Harry Potter. Like the stories were complete, the books were over, and then they are still coming up with new stuff. Would there really be like a franchise, especially let's say pop culture franchise, that could last super 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 long and still be that good? The only one that I'm thinking about, let's say, its length right now is like Disney shows. For example, their cartoons like Mickey Mouse and stuff. But then I'm not sure if I would say if Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse are, still that great today as they, let's say, used to be back in the day. I mean, I'm not saying that I agree with everything Disney does. I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about, let's say, popularity and then if they are still a thing, pretty much. And they are still a thing, of course. But isn't it crazy to think that some fictional characters or like fictional stories, franchises, they actually might be existing for like until the humanity exists? Isn't it funny or crazy to think about that? Which, by the way, since I'm bringing up some random and also crazy thoughts of mine, there was one mind blowing information that I'm not sure if I will hit it with that information, or if I will be able to hit you with that information as strong as it hit me the day I heard it, but I will try it. But I was reading that we will never know how we actually look like. And why am I saying that? I'm saying that because we can never see our own faces, pretty much. And then you might be saying, oh, but if you look at a mirror, you can see how you look like. Yes and no, because what you see in the mirror is like a 2D reflection that is somewhat loyal to how you look like, but it's not the same. It's not going to be the same thing a person would be seeing if that person was actually looking at you. So I was like mind blown when I got to that idea, right? I was like, holy shit, this might be real. What I see in a mirror is not what others see when they look at me. Especially thanks to the 2D, 3D effect. But also because of the mirror being like the flipped image, right? So basically, we'll die without ever seeing how we look like. Or at least looking at ourselves, right? At least our faces, of course. I was like shocked when I heard that. It's like, holy shit, you might be right. Like I might think I look like this because that's what I see from the mirror. But that makes so much sense that if there was a person like next to me looking at me, the person would not see what I see in the mirror. The person would have so much more information from like my image or from myself than what I could be able to see when I look at a mirror. Anyway, I was kind of going crazy and nuts with that information. I just wanted to share that to you. Maybe you say, nah, you just look like the mirror. Don't go too crazy on that. But I kind of thought it was something that blew my mind. Just like I thought it made sense somewhat. Also, hi Jer, welcome man, what's up? They say that if you saw a copy of yourself in the world, you wouldn't recognize it as you. Maybe, because we might have this false impression that we know how we look like. And you know what else? Maybe that's also why when someone compares us to other people, for example, oh, you look like that actor, or you look like that singer, or somebody else, and then we are like, nah, I don't look like that person. Are you crazy? They might be right. And then we might think we don't look like, I don't know, the person they are comparing us to, because we can only have this one reference from looking at us in a mirror, but not really knowing how we actually look like in real life in 3D. Man, yeah, next time somebody compares me to someone else, I will be like, you know what? Maybe you are right, even if I at first could disagree with the person, because I don't know, I have never seen myself, in person. You know what? Maybe thanks to this talk, I will start supporting cloning. Just so I can like look at a copy of me. Oh, you know what else now? Maybe twins, right? Maybe twins could have a greater opinion on this matter too, right? Because twins will be able to compare what they see in a mirror to their brother or sister, to like their siblings. Anyway, I was kind of sad actually after I heard that, because I was like, seriously, I'll never be able to see myself. Isn't it crazy? You have been lurking there. That's great to see you, man. I hope you have been doing great. I have been super busy though, so I also haven't been streaming that much. But I appreciate you stopping by and lurking. Star Trek is still amazing mostly, and it's older than Star Wars. What is the other show you like too? It's a Star Trek, Battlestar Galactica, right? Correct me if I'm wrong though, but I also think you like Battlestar Galactica. Star Trek is the oldest, right? It's like the first one ever released, and then Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, everything was like coming from there, isn't it? So Ender was a side story taking place before the very first movie. Okay, so it's like a prequel. I mean, never mind, because the first movie was like plot wise was after the fourth, fifth, and sixth movies, right? In the timeline. So it's like in between the two arcs, basically. But it was about the oppressive empire and the rebellion that formed from that. Star Wars is usually campy, but this one showed things like murder, torture, and suicide. I think I would prefer watching Ender then. Even though, don't get me wrong, I also have heard that Star Wars has some crazy scenes, like the movies they have some crazy scenes. The other day, if not the other stream, we were talking about. Yeah, we had this talk, I think it was with Gabriel. I don't remember the context anymore, but we were talking about how impacted I felt when I saw somebody's face burned or like carbonized. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but like when somebody burns their body and then their face gets all sorts of scars from the burns, or it even loses its shape. Yes, I remember I had this talk with Gabriel that there was a character, I don't remember where anymore, that I was impacted by how that character looked like. And then Gabriel kind of mentioned it, like, oh, but then you should see in Star Wars, because in Star Wars someone gets burned like crazy and then it's very graphical, or like there is like people losing their body parts too, thanks to the fights and battles and stuff. So I was like, holy shit, so Star Wars is graphical or more graphical than what I thought. And then now Electro is saying that it can get even worse than that with like torture, murder, and suicide. But yeah, Electro, I kind of got an impression that Star Wars is kind of darkish. I see I have been hitting the good drugs lately. Wait, the good drugs? Do you mean the exercising drugs? That's the ones I have been hitting, like in my Pilates. I disagree since mirrors make. Oh, never mind. Maybe Pilot is talking about the crazy topic I brought up regarding how we look differently from real life and mirrors. This was actually Pilot thanks to this YouTuber couple, or maybe I should say YouTubers that they are a couple, right? That they, to my pleasure, right? To my pleasure, they have started making debates or like videos that they are just talking about their ideas, their learnings, their lessons, their lives, instead of really focusing on like talking about shows, movies, series, and stuff. And then I have been loving to hear them like a podcast of some sort. And then they kind of brought that up one day. And then, yeah, I was like, holy shit, you know? This is kind of deep and also very existential. But I disagree since mirrors make a 3D virtual image, and if you have a two-panel mirror, it fixes the image being flipped. How is a two-panel mirror? Does it really unflip the flip? Interesting, I never knew about that. So Star Trek is the oldest. It is older than Battlestar, but I'm actually not sure if the original Battlestar series is older than Star Wars. You just confirmed the Star Wars is older than Battlestar. Okay. Oh, but it was very, very close, right? Just 1 year of difference. I didn't know Battlestar Galactica was that old. I also wasn't sure, but I wanted to throw a guess, right? Because um, I wanted to know which one of those three was the origin. And then it seems that was Star Trek. Yes, I was talking about the crazy topic. It sounds like the discussions I have had with people who had or who have had a lot of marijuana or MJ. I do love those topics though because sometimes it is like a I don't know a small information or like it's a simple thing, right? Just like oh, it's also one thing that we never really stop to analyze that deeply, right? Like because you kind of assume things already. For example, I assumed up to that day those two people brought that topic to me that I knew how I looked like. I assumed that because, oh yes, I look at my image on a mirror, so I know exactly how I look like. And then they just had to say that it kind of changed my thoughts on like what I thought it used to be right and what's not. And you know what else, guys? There are also some researches that they say that people think you are 20% at least, or something around that number, 20%, let's say, more beautiful, or like you look better in 20% than what you normally think. So basically, if you have a somewhat self-depreciation of like your looks or something, your appearance, there is this one average or statistics that people could think that you look 20% better than what you really tell yourself, you know? And maybe this could have something to do about this whole idea too of like you might look a little bit different in real life than in an image from the mirror. But I also think it is mental and psychological, like we kind of under depreciate ourselves, right? We are our worst enemies. But I also have heard of this information that people normally see you 20% better than how you normally judge yourself, right? But of course it is a statistic, it's random information, it's like an average. So it's not like the truth, right? So Star Trek first aired in 1966, so it wins by 11 years. I wonder... are there interviews with the creator of Star Trek or something like that? I wonder what inspired that guy, right? Or that girl, I'm not sure, that person. Because it was something that was super revolutionary, that inspired so many other shows that were also super famous and popular. If you place two mirrors in a 90-degree corner of a room, the image is not flipped. Wait, because it will be reflecting the other image? Is that how? And then you can see yourself in it no matter where you are standing. I would like to get one when I buy a house. Do it, Electro. Yes, do it, man. That sounds like a very, little trick you can do on your house decoration. But I like that idea. Not to mention that, of course, today with technology, we can pretty much, I don't know, record my... look at me right now. I can record myself here, and then I could use a movie editor and then flip it too, right? But then this brings up another thing that also blew my mind in the past. Isn't it funny how what you are seeing right now, you guys right there watching me right now, is like super far from like me in my room? I mean, I mean super far, but I will explain what I mean by that. Because what you are seeing right now is a complete illusion by your mind or your brain that's only getting RGB and even making up other colors from RGB. Basically, in real life, I'm not just RGB, right? I'm like real colors. Like light is getting to me, reflecting in my body and in me, and then revealing the real colors of me. But what you guys are seeing right there is RGB. So basically, you guys are not really seeing, let's say, I mean, maybe you could see. I don't know how to talk about this because colors is a delicate topic, right? Who knows if the orange you see is the orange I see? Anyway, but what I mean by that is that this streaming and then like watching somebody on YouTube or like watching a video of something, it is all an illusion that doesn't capture the real colors, basically. It kind of makes you think that is the color, but it's your brain working with RGB, and it's not really the real color. It is something around those lines. I'm sorry if I'm like not being able to explain the idea I really wanted, but it's because of the screens, right? The screens are like set to be RGB. So basically we start seeing colors that are not necessarily just RGB. I mean, the combination will give you an illusion of that color, but it's not really the color. Because the real color, you could only see that in real life. So it's all an illusion. So basically what you guys are seeing is not really what it is, it's all an illusion. And then if you start thinking about that, it's crazy. So since I think I'm a 10 out of 10, I'm really a 12 out of 10? Why? Thank you. Okay, Pilot, you are a 12 out of 10 then, at minimum, right? You can also be more than that. I also hate when I say the things I say, but I don't know let's say the source, right? I don't remember where I heard about that. It's just something I heard about that. Hopefully, if you ever look on Google and you put there, do people look 20% better to others than to themselves? And then maybe you can find the source of the research somewhere. But it's been forever since I heard about that too, but I never forgot it. 3 mirrors in a corner is called a retroreflector. A light beam that hits it at any angle gets reflected directly back. I'm trying to think about it, but then where do you set the light though? Because otherwise it will be like this in the two side mirrors, right? Maybe you need to set them in a diagonal, like the light in a diagonal. But you're saying that it hits it at any angle. It gets reflected directly back? Isn't it to the opposite direction though? I'm not sure. I can't simulate that experiment on my mind. They use that concept in street signs and other reflective objects for the road. They use that for that? Oh, I see. So, for example, during the night, thanks to your car's lights, right? They can reflect the sign, or like they can reflect the street sign, so you can see what it says. Because as you're saying, the light will be reflected directly back to whoever is driving. I understand the technology, yeah, but then I didn't know it was something about this retro reflector idea. Yes, there are many interviews with the creator of Star Trek. The creator is Gene Roddenberry, and then he was active through the first 3 seasons of the later Star Trek, The Next Generations as well, up to 1991, I believe. One of your rides in RollerCoaster Tycoon is actually based on Star Trek. It's probably the Enterprise, isn't it? I don't know Star Trek, but I think it is the Enterprise. Especially the shuttlecraft. Shuttlecraft, wait. It is not the Enterprise? Yes, I was thinking it was this one. Isn't the word Enterprise kinda based on Star Trek somewhat? Or am I crazy? I can be crazy though. Don't believe in everything I say. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, please. Oh, okay, so that's the one. Alright, at least I got it right. Yes, I always thought this was somewhat related to Star Trek. I kind of want to check it though. Let me go on Google. But my phone is still recharging, so I'm going to do it on my PC. Let me Google what is the Enterprise in Star Trek. I'm guessing it's a big ship, right? Oh, that's it? It looks like a flying saucer with a projector on like the bottom of it, but it's of course the turbines, right? Interesting. Actually don't think it looks that close to the ride, but the name is a straight up reference. But then, guys, is Enterprise a word created by Star Trek, or is that a word in English that has, I don't know, a specific meaning? Because I always thought it was a word that was either only in Star Trek or to refer to this ride, right? But I never really asked myself if that word was like with a meaning in English. Basically, what I'm saying is that I always thought that Enterprise was like a came up word, like a fictional word. Do you mean the shuttle loop? They still coaster with the loop? Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah, the Enterprise, right? There is also a season of Star Trek called Enterprise. The Enterprise is still available to be ridden at the theme park in Vancouver. Pilot, have you ever been to Canada Wonderland? Because Ultros is crazy for Canada Wonderland. It was one of your favorite rides as a kid. The individual stations in the ride are based on the shuttlecraft that are carried by the Enterprise. Wait, there were shuttlecrafts that were carried by the Enterprise? I did not notice that. I only noticed the disc, right? The flying saucer looking like disc connected with 3 turbines. Oh, you have never been to Canada Wonderland? It's not in a good location for you to visit. It is in Toronto, isn't it? It was designed by Schwarzkopf, which means blackhead. Schwarz is black, and then Kopf is head. In 1972, named after the USS Enterprise from the TV show Star Trek. That's the reference for the ride, right, Electro? But then that's the thing, Enterprise was a word created for Star Trek. That's my question. Because sometimes there are words in like pop culture that I assume they have no real meaning behind them in English, and then in fact they have. The last time that happened, I still remember it today, and also by the way I can also talk about this, or like something about this topic very briefly too, because something did happen about this topic. The last time I remember this happened to me was when I was playing Mega Man X, And the side fact about Mega Man X is that for some reason, Mega Man X is crossing over with Minecraft. I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer. It actually looks good, and even though it's super random, it kind of sounds like a good tribute to like Mega Man X, to like be able to play the stages, the bosses, and everything with the music too in Minecraft. That was super random, but it happened. But yeah, in Mega Man X, when I was beating the game, there was this one dialogue, like this text box in there, that I was reading, and then they said Usher. And I was like, Usher? Usher to me is just the name of the singer. And then I learned that no, Usher actually has a meaning in English. And I was like, are you kidding me? Nobody says the word Usher in real life without referring to the singer. Maybe because it is not like a popular word, right? So that's why I'm asking that, because sometimes there are words that I assume they are just a name, but in fact they have a meaning in English. You know another word that surprised me? Then we are going back to Chrono Trigger. I was mind blown when I learned that Zio, which is one of the most beautiful cities in Chrono Trigger, Zio was a word with meaning in English. I was like, wait, what? So it's kind of shocking when that happens to me. I first see a word thanks to, I don't know, somebody's name, somebody's game, or like TV show, or even Enterprise here in RollerCoaster Tycoon. And then suddenly, oh, but did you know that actually this word has a meaning in English? It's just that nobody actually uses that commonly, and then you might have never heard it before. Enterprise is a noun, a project or undertaking, typically one that is difficult or requires effort. You see, it does have a meaning. It makes sense for the name of an exploration spaceship. Yeah, because it is like something... It's like Mission Impossible, right? For us to investigate... Also, by the way, Pilot, what is the plot of Star Trek? Because the plot of Star Wars, even though I have only watched one movie, I can kind of, figure it. Probably the plot is like, oh, it's like good versus evil. It's like the Siths versus the Jedi. That's the plot of Star Wars to me, at least. What is in Star Trek? Is it just like the exploration? The adventure? Or is there something else going on in there? Maybe there is a big villain that they need to also take down for some reason? Because to me, it sounds like just an exploration. Yeah, let's colonize planets. Let's see what's there, right? Let's investigate the universe. That's the impression I have. Is space the final frontier? These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Yeah, but what is their goal? Its 5-year mission is to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. So it's more the adventure, right? It's not really, I don't know, something about good versus evil. So Star Trek doesn't have a defined overarching plot. It is humanity in the future exploring space, which series handle or which each series handles it differently. And then they say that during the show's intro every episode? Wait, do they say... Are they that clear that they start the episode saying Star Trek doesn't have a specific plot? It's humans exploring the universe. It's really how it goes? It's funny how they... Oh, okay, that's your comment, Electro. Alright. It would be super funny though. They would straight up break the fourth wall, right? But it is interesting that it's just the adventure then. I would even say it's kind of more challenging for them to keep the show entertaining for so much years, or so many years, right? By the way, there is this another, let's say, classic sci-fi show that for some time I tried watching it. It is something that I always forget about doing, but right now in this talk I kind of went back to it, and then it's good because it's been forever since I remembered it. But then I realized that, hey, I still should do this, you know? Anyway, there is this other sci-fi classic that's called Doctor Who that I always wanted to watch it. I did watch, let's say, a couple episodes during my teen days when I was watching some cable TV, but I never really watched maybe a full season or like the entire thing. Do you guys like the Doctor Who? Have you watched Doctor Who? It is a show that makes me curious to understand what is happening there too. Because if I'm not mistaken, it has time traveling. It has like I don't know, all sorts of random things and monsters and situations happening. It has I think it has clear villains as well. I forgot their names now, but I do think they have villains in there. And there is this whole deal about the Doctor. Like the Doctor should, I don't know, protect the universe or something. So it is a show that kind of captivates me. There we go, captivates me somewhat. And I did like the episodes I watched. I just never watched the entire season, or like I never could follow the story correctly. Honestly, out of all of the shows we talked so far, I think it is the one that I would like to watch the most, or the one that I'm the most curious about. Maybe my opinion could change after I play the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game. Handyman, what are you doing there, man? But yeah, Doctor Who is a show that I could see myself trying it. I don't know if I would watch everything though, but at least some of the seasons. So they did change it to where no one has gone before in later series to be less gendered. Wait, less gendered? Wait, what exactly do you mean by that? The second series, every series after that doesn't have a voiceover. Oh, no one versus no man? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, right, because they probably have all sorts of species in there. And then they make it more specific then. Pilot has watched several seasons of Doctor Who, but eventually got bored of it. While you watched it, was it entertaining? Because I did like it. But then maybe the same could happen to me. Maybe it gets repetitive, or, you know, maybe it drops in quality too. And then you can think it's getting boring. One I would recommend is Red Dwarf. I have never heard of that one. It is a glorious British sci-fi. It's very funny if you like British humor. Humor is something complicated to me though. Yeah, it's very hard for me to watch a show and keep watching it thanks to its humor. I don't know why, but humor is something that I'm very picky about. I'm not sure how to say that. It is just hard for me to really have like a good laugh, which makes me sad though, because I wish I could be. I mean, I don't want to say happier, but I wish I could laugh more, basically. But then at the same time, at times I laugh at the dumbest things, you know? But just when it's more random or unexpected, because I know some people that they, for example, they go after funny clips, funny videos on YouTube especially, or TikTok or something, to you know, have a good laugh and then see something funny. If I go after that, I hardly think I will think something is super funny. I just think it needs to happen to me more naturally, maybe. Although I do like some of the TV fails. Yeah, maybe out of like those clips, one of my favorites is when there is like a TV show and then something goes wrong. I kind of like that. Some people like when people fall or when animals do something crazy too. Then it depends to me. It's very rare for me to think it's funny. But another thing that I like too as well is when something unexpected happens in games. Yeah, video games, especially when like somebody is getting surprised or the person is almost doing something and then something goes wrong in the person's playthrough, that makes me laugh too. Yeah, but then in general, shows, especially sitcoms and stuff like that, they hardly get to me. I wish they could because I wish I could laugh more. But I don't know, I'm a very hard person to really have a good laugh. Same, there aren't a lot of comedies that you like. Have you guys ever watched this movie? Although I think that today this movie could be problematic, but let's say in the 2000s, this movie was maybe a big hit. Actually, it's like a classic in Brazil. And I'm going to say and talk about this movie because it was aired in here last week, I think. And then every time it's aired, the Brazilians in general, they stop what they're doing to watch it. And then it's funny to see people talking about it again on Twitter. I'm talking about White Chicks. Do you guys know which movie is that one? It is kind of problematic thinking about it today. But when I watched it for the first time, I did think it was a good comedy movie. Yeah, and it's now a classic in Brazil. Like everybody kind of loves that movie. Also in the carnival this year, there was a samba school that had people dressed like the white chicks from that movie too, as like some sort of carnival costume. But that movie is like one of the few movies that actually get to my humor somehow, even though I also know today that it's somewhat problematic, right? But if you don't go into the problematic stuff, there are some things in there that makes it funny, right? Especially, I would say, the reactions of the characters. For example, Latrell, that wants to kind of date one of the white chicks, and then there was that part that they are in the car singing "A Thousand Miles." That scene is like brilliant. It's so good because you don't expect him to like that song, and then suddenly he's the biggest fan. Or when they are in the nightclub, also dancing like crazy and break dancing too. Anyway, that is a very good movie. And then everybody, like, when that movie is being aired on Twitter here in Brazil, they're all saying, man, I have watched this movie so many times and I still love it. I may not laugh at it as much today anymore, but I still freaking love that movie too. But again, I do know it's somewhat problematic, right? I personally find very few online sketches to be particularly funny. Me too. I also tried watching some stand up comedies. There is only one stand up comedy group in Brazil, or at least that I know so far, that sometimes, even not every time, but sometimes I think they are funny too. Yeah. Do you guys like stand up comedy? I was not expecting you to say that movie. Oh, look at that Electro. What did you think about it though? It is a classic in Brazil. That movie is probably more famous in here than anywhere else. Because seriously, Brazilians love that movie so damn much. I know of the movie but never saw it. I did not make a cultural impact in there. Quite forgettable. I can figure. I think it just exploded in Brazil because it was aired a lot on TV too, you know? Do open TV channels in Canada or in the US, do they normally air many movies during the afternoons? Because here in Brazil, open TV channels, they have movies in the afternoons and also in the night. And then sometimes they keep on repeating the same classics, right? And then this one is like the one that got to people's taste a lot. I think it's known here for being a cringy 2000s comedy. It is super cringy, right? Yes. but most people would know it by name. You have never watched the Electro. I have only heard you have only heard bad things about it. I mean, maybe the bad things about it is thanks to the cringy feeling, with like good reasons, and then also thanks to the problematic, right? That they are kind of. I mean, it's pretty much the racial stuff, right? It's very stereotypical too. But if you look beyond that, it has some good scenes that are somewhat unexpected, and then that surprise is what makes that movie kind of funny. But then again, I think I liked it more in the past than today, but I still think it's crazy how it exploded in here in popularity. I haven't had television in about 15 years, so I have no idea. But you enjoy some stand up comedy, but not many. Mostly ones that talk about politics. Oh, in my case, that would never be a topic for me to think it's funny. Nope. Yeah, my stand up comedy or favorite stand up comedy is when it's more innocent. Or like, how to say it? I'm not sure. When it's more naive, maybe? It's when it's not going into, heavy topics like that, like politics. It's when it's more childish, even. I mean, not like straight up childish, but also when it's a clever pun. It's like they have to they have to make up a scene for like a certain topic, and then they take that out of context into, I don't know, something else, but something that could be more childish or more innocent, or maybe a reference, for example, a reference of a TV show or a movie or a game. Yes, that's how I normally like it, when they kind of take things out of context, but they relate that into something that I probably know as well. I remember that they showed movies on public TV when you were a kid. Now they only show old westerns on some channels. Honestly, my dad would love that. My dad is crazy for westerns. My dad only watch westerns pretty much. And when there is no new western movie for him to watch, he starts rewatching everything. And it was only family movies like Harry Potter. No, in here we did have action movies. We actually have had so many crazy movies, horror movies too. Of course, sometimes they use it to censor, right, some scenes. For example, um, Brazilians from the 80s, 90s, or 2000s in here, we all grew up watching this one movie called. Is it called The Blue Lagoon in English? I'm trying to translate it. The Blue. How is this in English? Yeah, how is. It is The Blue Lagoon. Okay, so it is a straight up translation. This one movie, The Blue Lagoon, is probably one of the most repeated movies to be aired on open TV in Brazil. So if you are from the 80s, 90s, or 2000s in here, you probably have watched one of the Blue Lagoon franchise or series movies, right? And it is a movie that has nudity, or nudity, right? Nudity, but of course, later in time they started censoring those scenes, because honestly I think that back in the 80s and 90s, not all of those scenes were censored. But yeah, they of course started cutting and then censoring some parts. But yeah, kids could be watching that because it was aired like at 3 p.m., 4 p.m. After kids returned from school. I watched that as a kid as well. It is like another Brazilian classic. And it is not a movie that, let's say, it's like a family movie, like you said, Electro. It's far from that, actually. Where is the inverted coaster? That it is. But then again, you guys probably don't know that movie because it's so specific, and I still don't know exactly why was it a big thing in Brazil. That's so random. Yes, right? Now that I'm stopping to think about it, some very random and specific movies they start becoming popular in Brazil. And then I wouldn't be any surprise if you guys have never even heard of those movies. Very few young people have television these days, so it having mostly Western movies now makes sense. Oh, that is true. So, like, the old people could be watching that, right? Like my dad. I don't know anyone under the age of 35 with a cable satellite TV package. Here in Brazil, TV is still a big thing. Mostly thanks to the news. Um, I don't know if I would say. No, I think I would say it in a bad way, actually. So, sadly, right? Sadly, most of what you watch on TV today, on open TV at least, is the news. And the news are most of times, if not every time, bad. Or like sad, right? Or depressing. So I would say that people here they are also the soap operas. People also like to watch the open TV channels thanks to the soap operas. And then sometimes the reality shows too. For example, in my case, like in 2 hours I'll be going to watch Big Brother Brazil. But my number one spot for why people watch open TV today is for the news. Yeah, we have like news during the whole day basically in different TV channels. Blue Lagoon would never be allowed on TV in there due to the underage nudity. Yes, you see? But it wasn't here. At least unless they censored it heavily. I think they started censoring it more, but when it was like in the 80s or something, nope. It was there. I think we are talking about over air, not a paid cable or. Yeah, I'm not talking about paid TV. I'm talking about free TV pretty much. You buy your TV and then if you connect it to like a cable, but not really a paid cable connection, that could be a satellite. Although Pilot was also saying that nobody uses the satellite even. You will have access to like free channels. And then I refer to that as open TV or open TV channels. I'm not sure if I'm saying it correctly though. In Brazil, we have a couple open TV channels, especially because not everybody will have, if not like the majority of people, right? They won't have the money to like be subscribing the freaking cable TV channels, right? So TV would be a failure in here if it were not for the open TV channels, where the masses really watch. But today it's been growing. Like the streaming services are also very popular now, and actually the streaming services are taking over cable TV. Yeah, cable TV might not be as popular as the streaming services in here. It was rare in the 2000s to watch public TV. Yeah, it's maybe public TV the way to say that. At least where you lived, where it's mostly upper class. Electro, I will tell you that. I mean, it's also been changing. But I wouldn't be surprised if, for example, you had two bars and restaurants in here, and some of them would be airing some public TV shows, or at least a soccer game or a sports game. Although, to be fair, some other restaurants and bars, when you go there, they might have a cable TV package or like a cable TV channel, right? And where they will be airing, let's say, more exclusive games, and then actually they will be luring the fans of that sport to go to the restaurant to be watching that show or that game while drinking a beer or eating a snack or something, right? Yeah, it's being more popular when I notice what are the TVs in bars and restaurants airing when like I walk by them. Yeah, I have been noticing they have also been airing those cable TV channels, but I wouldn't be surprised if some would be airing the news, especially during the lunchtime, because there is like this one news show, right? that happens in here for the lunchtime, and then it's kind of common for people to be watching the news or getting informed when they are eating their lunch. Or maybe the reality show, for example. Yes, if somebody would go out like late night at 10 p.m., which is the time for the Big Brother Brazil, I wouldn't be surprised if some bars and restaurants would be also airing that. Because then the fans of the show would be hanging out with their friends or eating something while watching the reality show. So basically, what I mean is that in Brazil, at least, public TV is still a big thing. And then that brings up to another thing. Shopping malls in Brazil are also still a big thing. Because I also heard that at least in the US, I'm not sure how is that in Canada, but Pilot can also talk about that if he wants. But I know that in the US, shopping malls are not as great anymore. Like many shopping malls are kind of closing their doors, right? Because people started buying more online. In Brazil, shopping malls is like entertainment. Sometimes I go to the shopping mall. I mean, I'm not saying that I do that often, but sometimes I stop by the shopping mall just to, I don't know, walk around, take a rest, and especially buy something to eat. Because I would say every shopping mall in here at least will have a food plaza or will have a food court or something. Yeah, I normally go to the shopping mall to eat. But for example, I was mentioning my Pokemon Go friend that I met 4 days in the last 6 days. In was it? Oh my god! Let me think about it because now I need to find myself in time. Was it yesterday? Yes, it was yesterday. Yesterday we went to the shopping mall, so we could play Pokemon Go together. I also brought my Switch there, so we played Mario Kart 8 together, and we ate in the shopping mall. We were in the food court, and we spent the whole afternoon there, just talking, playing, and eating. Right. So shopping malls here are still like entertainment, especially for smaller cities. For example, my hometown. My hometown does have the beach, it has a lake as well, it has some natural beauties. But when it's like super late and people want, I don't know, bring their family to somewhere, they just go to the shopping mall. They just go there, look at the stores, and then, I don't know, sit at the food plaza to eat something. Also, many, if not most, shopping malls in here will have um, movie theaters like together. I know in other countries they are normally more separated, right? In here it's very rare. Normally they are together, movie theaters and shopping malls. So it's like an entertainment focus. Hence why I don't think shopping malls will be closing their doors in here anytime soon. Maybe their sales will decrease uh, or suffer some impact thanks to time and thanks to online shopping, but closing their doors, it's very, very hard. Unless they lose in competition to like a more recent shopping mall in the city that's better and more modern than the old one, right? Then sure. But shopping malls are also still a big thing here for entertainment. Wait, you guys have had that as well, the public TV, and then probably you still have it. Though I don't know anyone who has an antenna to watch those channels. Yeah, because the streaming services are now the thing, right? But I'm not sure about elsewhere. But here it's called OTA, over the air TV. Okay, over the air TV. We missed out on a few shows like SpongeBob and anything on Cartoon Network, but we had a few popular ones like Pokemon, Batman, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Pokemon, Batman, Yu-Gi-Oh!, X-Men, Dragon Ball, Digimon, um, Dragon Quest, like the very old Dragon Quest anime from the 80s that was also aired on Open TV or over the air TV in here. What else? Some Disney cartoons too, I remember that, like the Goofy cartoon, like Goofy and Max cartoon. Then is SpongeBob. Honestly, I'm not sure now if SpongeBob was aired in Open TV, but probably because my memories of SpongeBob is on Nickelodeon, right? Which is paid. But the Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, Bugs Bunny, All of those things from Hanna-Barbera, they were in Open TV too. Um, Wacky Races, I loved Wacky Races so much. I used to watch that after school, right? Like at 5 p.m. coming home and then eating a snack, and then Wacky Races was being aired. But yeah, some animes were aired on Open TV too, like the ones I mentioned. Probably more, but I'm not. Oh yeah, wait. Captain Tsubasa too, I think. But then today it has changed a lot. Today you don't. Today there aren't. Oh, of course, Senseiya. Let's not forget my favorite anime, right? Senseiya. I watched Senseiya thanks to Open TV. And then after that, Cartoon Network was airing Senseiya here in Brazil. Yeah, Senseiya was on Open TV in here too. Yu Yu Hakusho. Yes, Yu Yu Hakusho as well, even though it surprised me because Yu Yu Hakusho is very graphical. I used to be scared of watching Yu Yu Hakusho on Open TV because it was super graphical. It had demons as well. I think malls are doing okay in there. Amazon hasn't fully killed them yet. Okay, good to know that, Electro. But I have heard that maybe people don't go to shopping malls to hang out. They just go to shopping malls to like buy things, right? Here in Brazil, many people, if not, I don't want to say like everybody, because there are of course people that go there to do shopping, but it is a very important entertainment center, still, right? Especially for family programs. For example, you have kids, you don't have anything to do with your kids, so you pretty much bring them to the shopping mall and then they'll be distracted in there. Or everybody goes there to eat together, something like that. So shopping malls in here, it's more than just shopping. It's still an entertainment spot, especially for small cities. I feel like Brazil is a magic place where it's still in the 80s and the 90s. I never thought about that. And it's funny that you're saying that because my favorite music genre is very connected to the 80s and the 90s, right? I was even making a playlist yesterday and today to send to this one Pokemon Go friend that I was mentioning because I introduced him to this one music genre that's one of my favorites called Dream Pop. And then nobody knows what's Dream Pop. Neither you guys probably. By the way, I do recommend checking it out. So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a playlist of my Dream Pop tracks and then I'm going to show you, right? So what I'm trying to say is that Dream Pop has a lot of 80s vibes and 90s vibes and synthesizers and atmospheric sounds, instrumentals as well that sound nostalgic. That's my jam. So it's funny that you are saying that, Pilot, because then I'm listening to the soundtrack of the 80s and 90s still, combined with Brazil feeling like that. Yeah, there are many things in here that haven't aged that much, but of course some other things have changed too, right? Also, hi Otus, what's up, man? I will think more about that, Pilot. I will try seeing Brazil with those 80s, 90s goggles, but I can already also say that many things have changed. Yeah, many things have changed. Maybe not completely, like the shopping malls that I said. For example, we don't have the video game stores anymore, or like the uh, movie rental stores, right? We don't have those in here anymore, too. So those were like super big in the 80s and 90s. There were 4 movie theaters around your hometown. 3 of them closed this year, and the remaining brand new one almost closed. It's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. You guys won't go to the movie theaters? Is it thanks to the streaming services? Because as far as I know, there are many movies that when they are first released, they don't go to the streaming services right away, right? They go to the movie theaters. Goof Troop, the precursor to the best Disney movie ever, a Goofy movie. I should rewatch that. I don't remember anything about the Goofy movie anymore. I do remember watching the Goofy cartoon though, as a kid. I did like a Goofy movie as a kid. I think I did like that too, but I don't remember it anymore. One thing I do remember though is that the soundtrack of that movie is fantastic. Yeah, that I do remember. Malls are places to hang out in there too. Most of them have a movie theater. Oh, okay, okay. So Electro is kind of changing my impression because honestly, I felt not many of them would have the movie theater. Yeah, in Brazil, most of them have too. And then the food plaza too. As an adult, it still hits hard, but from the perspective of Goofy, more so than Max. Why is that? It's the only Disney film to concentrate on the father son dynamic. Is it? I mean, I'm not like a big Disney fan, so I won't be able to remember everything, but yeah, from what I'm now trying to remember, then sure, that makes sense. But damn, there are so many Disney movies out, then how could it be the only one, right? Speaking of which, like speaking of Disney, I am somewhat hyped for the next Pixar movie, which will be the Inside Out sequel, right? Yes, Inside Out was a very good movie. Outros is singing some Kaoma. Chorando se foi que. He always types or like says that one line from the song that I never know the freaking rhythm, right? I know chorando estará ao lembrar de um amor que dia não soube cuidar. That's the one I remember. That's the one that I know the rhythm. People just stay home and find things on the internet. That and the government forced cinemas and forced cinemas out of business last few years as well. Why would the government force cinemas to be out of business? Is it thanks to taxes or something? And then you stay home and then you subscribe. You'll be monitored. You'll be monitored. Do you mean by the phones? Home theater systems have gotten so good that many people don't see a big need to go to the cinemas anymore. Okay, but then are the movies being released at people's streaming services like day one? Is that how it goes in Canada, in the US? Because in Brazil, that's not how it goes. For example, let's suppose there is a new Star Wars movie. People will not be able to watch that day one unless Disney is doing something crazy, and then they could release that on their streaming service. Yeah, but that's not how it normally goes. They first get the movie to the freaking cinemas or movie theaters, and then some months later they release the DVD together with that coming to the streaming service, right? So, like, are people getting spoiled on the movie? Are they watching it thanks to piracy or something? Which I don't think that's what's happening, but I didn't know they would be releasing the movie that often on the streaming services in there. I will still go for the movies that are really exciting or action oriented, but for any sort of drama, I would rather just watch it at home. I would prefer watching at home horror movies because I don't want to be super scared of those movies in the cinemas. Then dramas. It depends. I mean, I'm saying it depends because I could see myself going to the movies to watch a drama, although it's not what I normally do. So I could agree with you that most of times I do watch dramas at home. But it's not because I kind of think about not going to the movies to do that, right? It's just because it simply happens that way. But I could go to the movies to watch a drama. But normally when I go to the movies, it's to watch an animation, like an animated movie. For example, Pixar, or now it's going to be the Super Mario Bros. Movie, right? Um, or a dystopia, or a sci-fi, right? Yes, I normally go to the movie to watch those. Sometimes a superhero, but it's rare. Or fantasy movies sometimes too, like The Lord of the Rings or something. I haven't heard about the Inside Out sequel. It is coming up this year, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure when, but I would say I would guess like mid-year. maybe in June or July. Yes, I do want to watch the sequel. I was just saying it's to save lives from from the theaters. But the taxes is like another problem too. Oh, he's talking about the quarantine. Okay, no, in here too. In here, the quarantine also closed the movies, right? The melody is the main melody of the song, or same melody J Lo used for "On the Floor." I don't know that song though. I should hear it later to compare. Cinemas and other large gathering locations were shut down or severely curtailed during COVID. Okay, okay, you guys are talking about COVID. No, I was thinking it was another case, right? Like, I don't know, the government said, oh, no more movie theaters, and then. But yeah, COVID, that's true. But in here, as most movie theaters were connected to the shopping malls, and then also the shopping malls got with their activity limited, they of course had some problems to like work during those years that COVID was more intense. But I'm not aware of like movie theaters that actually closed in Rio. Yeah, maybe one or another closed or stopped their operations in Brazil, but I would say that at least in Rio they were able to somewhat survive. And then now the things are more normal here again, right? Most movies are now available to rent at home at the same time as being released in theaters, though at an elevated cost. I have seen that feature too. It exists in here. I just never thought it would be, I don't know, any popular, you know, like I always ignore that when when I see it. So you now are making me think that some people could be actually renting the movie that way. I would go to see any movie the second someone wanted to join, but I don't really have let's go see a movie friends. The friends that I have from my hometown, they used to be my movie theater friends, right? But nowadays we haven't gone to the movies in forever. But I have told one of them that the Mario Bros movie we should watch together in the movies. So there is this plan, but we will only see if it's going to work when the movie is out. Even if it doesn't work, like even if she decides to not go or if she's busy or something, then I will go alone. Yes, because I do want to watch the Mario Bros movie in the movies, no matter what. Uh, it's going to be like um, it's going to be bad because the prices of the movies are like overpriced in my opinion. But as I also never go there, I think I will go this time to also feel that again, even though just to say that, oh yes, I have been to the movies again, you know, because it's been, I don't know, 5 years since I last have gone to the movie theaters. It's been forever. I'm losing the chat. Also, hi Jones, what's up, man? Last movie you saw in the theaters was the Dumb and Dumber nonsense sequel in 2014. There was a sequel? Oh wait, okay, there was a sequel. Yes, I at first thought on a different movie. Yes, On the Floor is a banger, but probably because it's just lambada. I think lambada is a different song though, right? There is a track called lambada. Wow, that was a long time ago. I know, but I can kind of relate to outros because it's been super long since I went to the movie theaters too. Not as long, but I would give it at least 5, 6 years. And then I don't even remember what was the last movie I have watched. Yes, I do not remember. It could have been an indie movie, even like a foreign movie, because there are also those smaller movie theaters that they have some more cult movies too, right? I do remember going to some of those as well, but I don't remember what was the last movie. Um, I have been wanting to take a stroll through my childhood malls. I think you should. There is this one shopping mall in Rio. It's called Rio Sul, or like South Rio, if I translate that. I almost returned to it the day that I returned to the Sugarloaf Mountain in here. But next time I go there, I think I will stop at that shopping mall to either eat lunch or like eat a snack or something. I just didn't do it because I was kind of in a rush, right? I had to do the trail or take the trail to climb the mountain. I also had to walk to the beach and then get to the trail and then climb it and everything. So I was kind of disorganized because it was like something I decided to do in that day. But I'm also thinking about going to Rio more this year. And then when I'm returning to this um, neighborhood, and then for the same reason, like I do want to return to the trail to climb the mountain again and then enjoy the view up there and everything. The shopping mall is very close by, so I do want to stop there too because I used to have memories in there. Like I have good memories of that place. Not sure if they will still have the same stores and um, restaurants that I used to like. Maybe not. I remember this one restaurant there that had a very good combo of like calzone and orange juice. If only they still had that. Okay, if I return there and if they are still there, I will order that. I will go there to eat their calzone again with the orange juice. I remember loving that. Which, by the way, it's been forever since I last ate calzones because I think it was there, the only place I used to eat calzones. Man. Okay, I'm totally planning myself to do that. And then eventually I'll take a picture of the calzone and post that on Discord. Let me go back in here again. But Outros, let me tell you that I'm not sure if it's just like in my life, but I kind of think it's more, let's say, general, especially after what Electro and Pilot have been telling me in this topic, right? I think going to the movie theaters has been more difficult. Um, at least people have kind of stopped doing that in general, either because they prefer watching their movies at home or something. But let's just say that today they have other plans too, like they kind of prefer hanging out to do something else. Maybe it is a combo of things, right? Maybe it's because, oh, in a couple months it will be out for the streaming service that and then I can watch it at home. Or going to the movie theater can be expensive or something like that. Or and in the past years it could have been thanks to the COVID, and then people kind of stopped going to the movie theaters, and then they got used to that, right? Like I got used to not go to watch movies in the movie theater, so I why would I return? I mean, I'm just giving some examples, but in general I think people have stopped going there. And in my case, it's not because I don't like it, but it's a mix of there aren't very good movies that get to my attention being released lately, together with the movie theaters in here are getting super expensive. So I'm like, it is not worth, you know? But I will do it for the Mario movie. Electro goes to the movies by himself before I stopped going. Me as well, or like, I used to do that as well. You can't talk to your friends in the theater anyway. I mean, yeah, but some people still do, or at least like they whisper, right? I can't be bothered to do anything out of the house alone that I can do at the house and for free. For me, seeing a movie is more about doing something with someone versus the content on screen. I agree that the greatest part about either going to the shopping mall or like going to the movies is the company or like doing it with people. It is like the activity more than just like the movie, right? Because everything will become better with like somebody else. For example, you might find, I don't know, some jokes in the movie funny, and then you can talk about that with like your friend or like whoever is there with you. But I'm also with Electro. There are sometimes that, for example, it's your favorite franchise movie being released. In my case, it's going to be, for example, the Mario movie. I'm like, I wanna watch this regardless, and for that reason, the big screen will take part on like the quality of that experience. But for more, let's say, minor movies, they only become better if you do have somebody with you. I don't know, for a movie that you are not that excited for, or if it is not a big famous movie, yeah, then I would rather stay at home to watch it alone in case I don't have that company. Before COVID, I had a group of about 10 to 15 people, man, who went to see a movie every Tuesday. Cheap night at the cinema. Here in Brazil, it's on Wednesdays. But now we did once a month for a bit, but now once every few months. And then one friend is really into Marvel, so we'll humor her and go see those movies. But generally, I have lost all interest in going to the theater. In general, me too. Yes, maybe in my case, it would be either a movie from a franchise that I'm still hyped for, or getting somebody to go with me for sure, yeah. But for example, I was mentioning the Pokemon Go friend. He went to see the Puss in Boots 2, which Gabrielle also wants me to watch that, and they loved it. But that's a movie that I don't think I would go to the movies to watch it myself. And then he told me that he wants to watch Ant-Man 3. That is probably almost coming up in the movie soon, right? But then another movie that I don't care that much for. I have seen a hockey game alone, but it was on work's dime and I was traveling. Regarding sports, yes, I'm not like a sports guy, so I can't say that I have been to many sports events, especially alone. But yes, I can totally see it not being as fun if you don't have like a group of friends with you, or at least somebody with you, right? I think I would not go, honestly. I think I would not go alone to a sports event. Yeah. Although I'm also not a big fan of sports, right? So that doesn't help me either. One thing I do regret though, but then again, I did not do it in particular, also because I didn't have a group of friends to go with me, is like going to the Olympics or to the Olympic Games. Yeah, we had the Olympic Games in Rio, we had the World Cup as well in Rio, but I skipped everything, but I at least went to the, let's say, meeting areas of like the fans. Yes, I went there to the meeting areas where people used to, I don't know, do some activities together, interact with people from other countries, and then like people that were cheering for other countries. Pretty much the meeting areas that was a somewhat attempt of having some cultural exchange between everyone that was visiting Rio in that case, or Brazil, for like that event. And then also, thankfully, I was able to visit the Swiss, let's say, house. That's how we used to call that. It's pretty much where, or the area where the Swiss fans would be reunited and then cheering for the Swiss games. I went there and then they had like lots of activities to do. There was even a, let's say, fake ice skating that I took part of. There was like a simulator that was with some. I'm not sure what's the word in English of that. Let me Google. I kind of want to learn. How is this in English? Oh, really? It's that formal, like the word in English? Polystyrene. Wait, I can't even say that. Polystyrene, styrene, polystyrene, maybe. It's the material that's very soft, right? Polystyrene. Isn't there a better word than that though? In Brazil or in Portuguese, we have a better word. That's what I'm translating. But then this is like the chemical word. Polystyrene. Anyway, I hope you guys could get what I meant. But yeah, they had like polystyrene small balls that was simulating snow, right? So you pretty much enter the chamber, and then that chamber would have like a scenery of Switzerland, and then they would like turn on some vent or some like um some some air flowing, or wait, yeah, some vent that would like flow or make the air to flow, right, carrying those polystyrene little balls that would simulate snow. So I went to that too. And then I also went to the House of Germany. And then they helped me to visit a favela for the first time because I was not brave enough to go there by myself, of course. But they had like a project of installing solar panels in some favelas in Rio. So the people that lived in those favelas, um, they could be more independent regarding the energy they consume, and then of course not pay that many taxes to the government by using the government's electricity, right, or power supply. So Germany helped some favelas and some people to kind of install those solar panels in their houses, and thanks to that they kind of knew those communities, so they also were doing some touring with whoever was interested to know that project and also know the favela. So I heard of that and I was like, okay, this is my chance to get to a favela and I don't know, have the experience, but also take a trail that had a somewhat beautiful view that I always wanted to see too. So I also visited the House of Germany to do that. But anyway, I think I went on a very side note in here, right? And also I wonder if I will still have time to start building the coaster. But I do regret not going to the games. Yes, I do regret not going to either a World Cup game or to the Olympic Games, especially the Olympic Games. But I didn't have company. So all I could do was pretty much go to the meeting places and then after checking them out, I don't know, going to a different place myself, like a restaurant to eat something or to the beach. And that was pretty much what I did. Ultros has two friends that he could spend voluntary time with, a third one in a smaller band with. For various reasons, all three are not people I would likely see movies with, even if asking. There could also be the matter of like different movie tastes, right? There is also that to take in consideration. But I think it's because people don't go to the movies that often, that much today, because the movies haven't been still a big thing, right? But I sort of have a shifted ideology on activity. Doing things means nothing alone, really. I agree with you that, and then it's crazy how I do have some fights with like some of my friends today because of that. I'm with Ultros that the company is more important than the activity, right? And then sometimes I think that, oh, if I suggest doing something very small, for example, oh, let's just, I don't know, hang out and go to the park or like go to the beach, or like let's just go to the shopping mall and I don't know, eat a snack or eat at a fast food or like eat pizza or eat something, or let's just see ourselves, something like that, or let's just go, into my house or like into the friend's house or something, or let's just meet, I don't know, after you leave your school, or like after you leave your gym, or like after you leave, I don't know, something, even if it is, I don't know, for 5-10 minutes. That to me is important. And then I don't want to say everyone, because thank goodness this Pokemon Go friend seems to be different on that, but there is this other friend on the other hand that all of those small things seem to be, let's say, kind of impossible to happen. It's more complex than that. While to me, they would be great if the company was there, or if we could meet each other, even if it is just a small thing. But I see that for, I don't want to say the most people, I'm not sure how many people actually, but For some people, the activity matters more than the company. And it is very complicated to deal with those people because sometimes um, there aren't many activities that could be, I don't know, as they wish, right? Or like they wouldn't happen that often as they would wish, or at least as I would wish to be meeting them in real life. So it is super complicated. Some people are kind of locked by the activities. So if this one thing is not happening, then they won't meet up with their friends, they won't do anything, they will stay at home, and that's it. While sometimes I wish some people could be more flexible into like, oh, let's do this, and it's like a minor thing, it's a small thing, but this also has been kind of becoming harder to happen. For example, even my hometown friends that I used to go to the movies, like I said, we kind of have been struggling way more today to like um, meet something like that or have a meeting like that, or even something else that we used to love to do together too. For example, meeting ourselves in a restaurant, especially for the pizza all you can eat restaurant. That hasn't been happening in ages. The only thing that has been more promising to happen lately between us is like going to the beach. And I don't have any problems about that. I love going to the beach. Last time I went to the beach, I at least was able to finally bathe myself in the ocean water, which is something that I love and I wish I could be doing more. But it's been hard, to kind of find people that would be more up to the minor things because they would be prioritizing the company more than the activity. And then I was feeling let's say happier this week because I was hanging out with somebody that was a little bit more like that. The Pokemon Go friend. We were meeting to play Pokemon Go, but we were doing something very minor. For example, walking in the city, going to the park, going to the beach, going to the shopping mall, or eating something together, and then playing the Switch, playing Pokemon Go together. It was something super minor. And it was very fulfilling to me. It's like, this is enough. It doesn't need to be, I don't know, let's go to a freaking amazing concert, or let's go to, I don't know, let's travel together, or those plans are also amazing, don't get me wrong. But sometimes, or let's say, it's not every day that that can happen. And then thanks to that, years pass by, and then time passes by, and then nobody sees nobody. It's always, I don't know, trading messages and then chatting on the phones. And then that kind of drives me crazy because I kind of want to go out, I kind of want to do things, even if I'm not, if even if I'm tired sometimes. Because if a friend, just like what Ultra said, if a friend calls me to like do something um, simple or even something more complex, I will do it. Just like what happened, I was able to meet that friend 4 days in the past 6 days, and they were all simple things like, let's go to the park, let's go to the beach, let's go to the shopping mall. And then in the future, I'm thinking about asking him to come here too, so we can play the Switch together in here in my home. All of those tiny things. And then it's been hard to meet people like that. But okay, let's go back in here because I think I'm still very behind. There were two subsequent Dumb and Dumber movies. Both are shit, so it's okay to forget about them. I don't remember the sequels, but I do remember the first one. Kaoma Lambada is the one you copy and paste lyrics to. I kinda have the feeling, Outros, there is a different Lambada named song though. It could have maybe a different name, but it totally has Lambada as part of the lyrics. The last most recent movie you have watched was the new Mortal Kombat live action. It was out maybe in 2020. I think I lost attention halfway though. I'll go walk through a mall the second someone is interested in joining. Me too. I would love to do that, but some people today, I don't know, they think it's a waste of time maybe because they might say, oh, I don't have anything to buy there, or. Or they would be like, you want to talk to me, so talk to me in my phone, or like let's chat on WhatsApp, or like I'm like, I understand, but I kind of miss you, or like I would rather, I don't know, see you again, or like hug you or something. By the way, I say that because in Brazil hugging is kind of common. I know it's a cultural thing. I miss my friends. And then I kind of get sad when I don't see anything happening between us. I don't really have any local friends to go out and do things with. Electro, yes, and then I struggle with that so much because I wanna live my life with the outside things, and then it seems there is a spark of hope happening in my life right now, but I also don't want to jinx it. But it's been like super horrible to like want to live even the simplest things, like going to the beach, going to the park, I don't know, going to the mall, and nobody wants to do that, or at least it's hard to convince people to do it with you. And then what's the worst? I mean, maybe it's just me being, I don't know, kind of jealous or something. When I go to those places alone, all I see is like people in groups hanging out together, doing that with their friends, and it feels like, why can't I also be part of that? It's like, where are those people when I try meeting new people? That's how I feel. And then also to not, and also to be fair, for example, last year, by the way, I'm sorry if you're here for RollerCoaster Tycoon, right? Because maybe it's because we have been not chatting in maybe 10 days or something since I last streamed. Then I'm now focusing a lot on chatting today. But don't worry, because I'll play this again next time I go live, if it's not on Sunday, right? Next time I go live, I won't go for Sable, I'll go for RollerCoaster Tycoon again. But it's also because this chat has been good to me to vent as well. To be fair, last year I was trying to meet new people, so I went to mostly anime events, and then I met some people there. I also started going to the Pokemon Go meetings that I heard about in the city. And to be fair, I realized as well that there are many people that don't have a lot to do with me in particular. It is a mix of things. There are people that they don't have a lot to do with me, so I feel like, okay, maybe I shouldn't really invest too much on this friendship or something. There are also some people that they could have something in common with me, but unfortunately, like there is no trade. Like there is neither someone asking the other person out to do something together, or it kind of slowed down enough that it's kind of hard to reactivate that today too. So what I want to say is that I realize that it is not only because I haven't met people that would like to do things, it's also because many people do not really connect to me in particular, because it feels like I'm kind of very different on what I like doing on my hobbies and stuff than maybe what other people prefer doing or what they like, in general. I'm not sure. I realize that maybe I'm a little bit, kind of very different than not really most of society, but a lot of people in the society. And then it's hard for me to really interact with them a lot, or really have a very good connection. I did meet some people, I did make some friends, but still, it's kind of that friendship that you think about. Do you see yourself meeting this person again, I don't know, in 2 or 3 4 years or something? Do you think that would work? And then I realized many times it would give me a negative answer, because I feel like, oh yeah, but then I don't know if you'll be able to expand this friendship into something else. For example, I met this person in the anime event. Would that person be able or be up to, like, I don't know, go to the beach with me one day, or like go to the movies with me one day? And then when we start thinking about that, it feels like many people that I end up meeting feel very limited. And I also think I need some more variety, because there are many things I would like to do. And then I also know that some people would say, oh, just have friends and friends, right? You gotta have friends for this one thing, friends for that other thing. I do understand that. But sometimes I wish things could be more simple, like we were saying. Then, for example, oh, we will only be meeting in anime events. This year, for example, I'm not feeling too hyped for anime events anymore, or actually since November last year. So that means that lots of people that I ended up meeting in the anime events, I'm like already getting distant from them because there was nothing else that would connect us outside of that, you know? So I did think that I don't know. I had some problem to connect to some of the people that I met. So that was like a somewhat good lesson. It's good to learn that, even if it is like hard to deal with it, but it's a good lesson to get. But I'm still trying, especially with like these people that I'm hanging out from the Pokemon Go groups. Especially this one friend that's now kind of, at least I think, it is very promising to become a very good friend because both parts are kind of, exchanging information and then, oh, let's meet up. And then even if it is just for Pokemon Go, going to the mall or something like that, it counts to me, especially because it is with some variation. It's not always the same thing. But anyway, I also think part of this hardship of like making new friends that would connect to me a lot is could also be regarding my own taste or like my own hobbies or my own things, right? Because I see that many people feel very different. Like they wanna talk about other things, they wanna do some other things too. For example, some of the people that I met, they were partying like crazy in the carnival, while I'm more like reserved. I'm like, no, that's not really my program, you know. And then that's when you start seeing the differences. But anyway, let me just catch up with the chat because time is also running low for my stream today, and then see if I can start this coaster. But the venting was good, yeah. But I think I could say most of what I wanted to say. Where did I stop in here? Ultras is the same way as Electro because of like lacking of closest friends around. The closest friends of Ultras is 1 hour away, 100 kilometers away. Yeah, an hour away is not good. You know another thing though? Most people that I ended up meeting, they were from different cities. Yes, only a few people were in the same city as me, right? And it's funny how most people were not from Rio because I think that maybe if they were from Rio, it would make things easier to meet. But no, they were from another city that's even far from Rio, right? But they came to my city to get to the anime event. Yeah, that even on that I was unlucky because when people that you end up meeting are like closer to you, they live closer to you, it makes things much easier as well. My second closest friend lives 20 seconds from that one. So it's the same idea. Pilot was supposed to go see the new Ant-Man movie, but ended up being sick. Yeah, the Pokemon Go friend will be heading to the Ant-Man movie. Kinda happy about that, as I didn't really want to go see that film with that group of people. I mean, Pilot, you could be honest and tell them that you didn't feel like doing it. Like, don't force yourself into anything that, or into something that you wouldn't feel like doing, right? But a few Twitch friends and I are meeting up this weekend. Oh, really, Electro? There we go. I hope everything works out great, man. What are you guys doing together? Are we going to a restaurant, maybe? Puss in Boots' Last Wish was great on the big screen. Oh, you also did watch it? Everybody has been complimenting that movie, and it's one of those movies that I never would think to even watch by my own, like casually. I'm not even speaking on the watching it in the movies, right? But also like casually on a streaming service or something. Never thought about that, and then now I need to watch it because everybody loved it. I can't think of like any franchise that I'm waiting for a sequel. or a franchise to become a movie for. So any next movie I have a chance of interest in theaters I don't even know exists. Same. For most part, same. I could think of like, let's say, franchises I would like to see another movie and something, but I don't know anything right now besides the Mario movie that I would really want to watch it in the cinemas. There are some movies that I might be a little bit curious. For example, the Inside Out sequel that I was telling Electro, also the Barbie movie, also the Tetris movie that I was also talking about that last stream, right? I watched the trailer of the upcoming Tetris movie. I think this one will be out in Apple TV Plus, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe not in the movies or like in the movie theaters. But then those other movies, I'm totally fine about watching them at home. So probably that's what I'm doing. A movie that would make me also wanna go to the movies. Mm, honestly, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know because most of the franchises that I used to follow or like a lot, they kind of have gotten to a completion, right? I would need to think more on that to get to an answer. Ultras was in Vancouver for the week and nothing to do in there, but the Leafs tickets there are a bit less costly, and they were in town that week, so it was great. Um, I think Ultras that maybe I mean it's a suggestion, right? I mean, of course you could go to the natural spots. At least that's what I like doing, even if I'm by my own. Like I go to the natural spots. I go to the beach. I go to the park. Sometimes I go to the trail. For example, this one trail Rio that I love, that I want to return there again. The Sugarloaf Mountain Trail, right? Or maybe I should say the Urca Mountain because it's the lowest mountain. But you guys will know the landmark thanks to the Sugarloaf name, which is the famous name of this one place in Rio. But it's only the smaller mountain, which is called Urca, not really Sugarloaf. It's the big one, the Sugarloaf. That's not the one that I'm climbing, but it's there, right? That's the location. Or I would tell you to go to restaurants. Yes, I also like going out to eat, and most of times I go out to, for example, the activity that has been taking me out the most lately is definitely Pokemon Go, like meeting the players and playing with them, right? So when there is a meeting in the park, I leave home earlier and then I stop by a restaurant, normally the Italian restaurant that I love, and then I head to the Pokemon Go. But I think that even if I didn't have a plan of like going to the park to play Pokemon Go and then meet some people, I could see myself trying some restaurants, you know? Of course, there is also the matter of like money. So in my case, I wouldn't go to like many expensive places. But I also think it's a good thing to do even if you are alone. Like you go to a restaurant and try out some new dishes or test the restaurants out, right? Try eating in new places. So if I were you in Vancouver, I think those two things would be the ones I would try doing if I were alone. I would try eating at new places and I would go to the natural spots, right? But then at least you were able to go to the Leafs game. Also, how are the Leafs now? Last time you told me they won the last two games, right? But Tampa was kind of getting closer to them. Yeah, and then they were in town that week, so it was great. I'm happy to hear you were able to enjoy the game even if you went there alone. A Final Fantasy VI movie would get you into the theaters. We should get some more Final Fantasy movies. I'm down for that, yes. I still don't think I would go to the movies for them though, but I would like to watch them, yes. The plot twist, it was a Swiss chalet? Did I say that right? Chalet? It's a styrofoam. Okay, styrofoam. Yes, it was a styrofoam like mini balls that they were pretty much simulating snow, right? Of course, it was like a fake snow, but it's the illusion, right? It's all about fooling your mind. But it was fun. Yeah, it's styrofoam. Okay, styrofoam. In Portuguese, the word is much simple or much easier. Isopor. Yeah, isopor is the word in English, not like the chemical word, right? Between now and when I stopped working on his theme park, which has been forever, I was able to order a pizza. Was it Domino's, Pilot? I remember you stopped eating at Domino's, wasn't it? Because you were going for vegan, wasn't it? But I'm now guessing you got a vegan pizza at a different place. Am I correct? Have the pizza delivered and finish eating the pizza. Dude, honestly, it's been a while already since I last ate pizza. I should order pizza soon, right? Chat has destroyed capitalism. That's not true. Because before we started chatting, I fixed my park basically. Yes, I was able to replace the old rides that were not profitable into profitable rides. So capitalism happened while I was sharing. Wait, while I was chatting, right? What I was not able to start though is the main goal, which is like building the next coaster. But capitalism is happening. I also got almost 500 guests in this in between time because I only had like 800 guests when I started the stream. This is a just chatting channel at heart. That is true. The friend who came by, who I don't see often because he's had problem. Ultras, I think I told you, right? At least on Discord. I thought it was so crazy, the coincidence that you were able to meet with that friend of yours at the same time that I was also hanging out with my hard to meet friend too. But to be honest, I'm kinda upset with that friend again because he's taking forever. He's taking forever to say something, to reply something, and then I decided to like don't stress out over this. Like change our focus, go distract yourself, and then let's do something different this time. Let's just see what time we'll do. You know, like if I don't say anything, and that's what I'm doing, I want to see what time we'll do. Like, will he realize that he hasn't answered what I told him? Or like that there was something there that I was like waiting for a response and then nothing happened. And then I'm just wait. I just want to see what's going to happen. If he will realize that he forgot or that he was busy, I want to see what's going to happen. I'm trying not to stress out over that because normally I kind of tell him like, "Hey, where are you?" or like, "What happened?" It's been always like that, and then now I kind of want, you know what? I'm trying not to fight, or I won't have a direct fight, but at the same time I also don't want to say anything, and then I'm trying to not stress out over that. But it was funny because when you were meeting that friend of yours, I was also meeting that friend of mine too. But then after that, he kind of, I don't know, he returned being like a hard friend to deal with. Not that I'm not, I'm also a hard friend to deal with, but we were looking for balance, and then things are not that balanced anymore. But I'm trying not to stress out over that as well. But anyway, if it wasn't for the head problem, he would be someone to be okay with just hanging out. Oh, you think he would be up to go to like all sorts of simple places just to hang out? He came by to literally sit on your couch all day over and overnight to eat and play crazy eights and talk. Yeah, that's actually what I miss doing the most. And you know what's the worst though? I probably have mentioned this before, but um, around 2014 or so, I used to be part of a group of friends like that. And then sadly, a sequel of events happened, and then fights happened, and then I kind of could never return to that friendship. I actually tried once, but then it didn't work out as before. And then I got like depressed. I got maybe my anxiety from that situation too, together with other things too, of course. But it sucks because I used to have a group of friends that were like that. And then today, when I try working out in my life to kind of return to something any close to that, I struggle. because the people that I meet today, I don't know, they are very different than that because of all of the reasons we have talked already. But I used to be part of a group of friends like that. I used to like hang out with them a lot. We used to go to the movies together. We used to go to restaurants together. We used to play board games together. We used to play video games together. We used to go to like parks, natural attractions. Um Used to just meet to talk, play cards. I don't know, listen to music, walk at the beach or something. Why people don't like to do that? At least, why is it so hard to meet people that like doing that and feel like that's enough? That's like something that fulfills them as well. But no, today it's like we gotta have a barbecue party. We gotta, I don't know, go to the bar to drink a lot, or like, I don't know, go to something crazily big, or something, we gotta get wasted as well or something. And I'm like, no, I just wish we could do something together, and it could be simple. I don't know. But yeah, I used to be part of a group of friends like that, and then sometimes it triggers me. Sometimes it triggers me, and then I feel like depressed because everything that happened, and how it's hard to like make new friends and then meet new people. But to be very fair though, my situation today is way better than after fight, right? After that fight. So I can't also be complaining. Things have changed, things have evolved. I also have changed. But it is funny how hard it is for you to kind of be part of something like that, at least to my life, to my perspective. Maybe to some other people that may be, I don't know, more sociable, or like they might have other interests or like other hobbies or something, or maybe they do like going to those parties or drinking a lot or getting wasted, or maybe some other activities that many people here in Brazil at least like doing. We were even talking about how my music taste is very different than people's tasting here. Like when I was talking to Electro in the beginning of the stream, how there is this gorilla song with like this one Brazilian singer and MC, but I don't even know anything he sings. But of course, the masses in here will know that, as I'm always kind of off. But it is okay. I'm just venting. I'm not like feeling that bad about that. I'm just like hoping things can keep on changing, and also hoping they change for the best. Where did I stop in here? I can't help but wonder why I can't find a lady to do the same with only a few adjustments and additions. Electro agrees. Just scroll past all of my chats. No, Ultras. Let me really have this massive chatting in here today. Maybe next stream I can focus on roller coaster. But I kind of knew this would happen, to be honest. I knew that I would have a massive chatting day because it's been forever. So every time there is a reunion, like after weeks that I don't stream, we chat a lot because I also most of times have a lot to say to, thanks to what has been happening, right? So I'm not surprised. And then if I need to bring this game again next time, which I was already planning to do, or maybe two times as well, why not? Sable can wait a little bit. Sable got a lot of love already. Hugging is good, it's quite a healing gesture. Yeah, in Brazil, hugging, of course, if you have some intimacy with the person, it is very common. And it is very important to me in particular. Because again, it is a trigger. It is a trigger from when I was part of that group of friends, and then we used to hug a lot too. It's funny. It feels kind of like um they taught me how um I don't know how being a soft-hearted person in a friendship group feels like, and then I kind of wanted to relieve that, but it's hard to get to that point with, I don't know, other people, because maybe it's me being unlucky or something. But many people that I meet, they are more, I don't know, more, they are more rational than sentimental as well. And that it's not that they are wrong or anything, but it's hard to fit, because sometimes I get pissed off or angry because of something that happens, and then I think it's something that happens because of, I don't know, because of a trigger from the past, or because I think on the worst, or because I think they were not treating me the way I wish they were treating me, or something with expectations maybe. And then if I were maybe more rational than sentimental, which is something that I have been working to, although you can't really fully change yourself, right? I could have more control over my reactions, but I wish people, I don't know, at least my friends, or like the people that I have been meeting, they could have a better touch on that. That they understand that doing things together in person is important for a friendship or for a relationship or something. They could understand that um, if we don't chat like often, things could cool down as well, or like there are moments that it's kind of urgent for you to be there because, I don't know, someone was going through a bad moment. For example, I was with my neck pain and insomnia the other days, and then I was hoping that my friends could be more with me for those days, and then some were, but then some were not, and then that made me a little bit disappointed. Anyway, it's hard to really connect to people the way we are, because indeed people are very different. And some people know how to adapt, though. I do have this friend that I freaking love him so much, because he even told me that I realized that you have changed and I adapted to your change, because this friend was also kind of part of that group of friends that I used to have, and we were still able to keep the friendship going. And part of that was because he was able to have that adaptation, to kind of keep the friendship with me and to understand how I'm kind of, let's say, too sentimental maybe, for some moments or for some situations. And then he's amazing. Like he taught me a lot in the talks we have had, but he's like an exception. Like many people will be mostly rational, or like they won't think about those things that much, about the importance of meeting up and everything. But anyway, it is what it is, right? And at least there are some people that can be different too, just like you are. Hugging is good, it's quite a healing gesture. My buddies usually open their arms first for that on the greetings or goodbyes, which is good because I usually wait, because you went everybody, wait, you went everyone about it. You think that not everyone would like that, but I think it's more awkward in there than in here. In here, it's way more common. But of course, you do need to have a somewhat level of affinity with the person, but it's not a very big bar, And I think my hugs are reserved for certain people, like anyone. Yeah. One of the RCT streamers is coming to California, Electro, so we are meeting up in a. Oh my god! Electro, do me a favor. Take some pictures of the rides. I wanna see some of the rides of the park you guys are going to get. That's amazing. Perfect spot to meet a roller coaster tycoon streamer, right, or friend. Sorry for not inviting you. No, 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 no. Yeah, that's all good, man. Don't worry though. Yeah, no, it wouldn't be that easy for me to, of course, take that trip, right? But that's an amazing idea. And they were small parks. Honestly, that's actually maybe better to me, in my opinion, because then it would be cheaper. And then, of course, I don't go to roller coasters like anything too intense. So that sounds like a fantastic plan to me. Like, otherwise, I don't know, if you guys were going to maybe the super, um, was it Super Nintendo World or something? Super Mario World? I don't remember, but the Mario theme park, then sure, then it would be better. But otherwise, if it is like a less famous or themed park, then going to a small option sounds good to me. When I traveled for work, I was always doing some nature flavored local attraction in basically all places except Winnipeg, where we stayed in the hotel. Outros, even in a hotel, man, sometimes, depending of course on the hotel, you can still have fun. I will always defend in here and say here that there is nothing like hotel breakfast. Yeah, when you can get some good hotel breakfast in the morning, that's to me, at least in Brazil, it already makes my day, basically. Because I will eat so much and also so well, right? With that delicious food. My income is pretty good these days. Nice to hear that, man. So I should take some cooking class or dance lessons. I was asking you earlier about those cooking meals you used to get, right? Like a subscription of some sort, and then prepare them at home. Um, so in that case, like I'm supposing you are continuing, like getting those cooking kits. I would suggest you continuing that and then starting something new, like the dancing class, right? To meet new people with similar interests. Yes, that's a suggestion or that's a good idea. I kind of wished that I could be meeting or making new friends in the Pilates that I have started, but I don't know, right? So far, that. It's not looking like that. That I will be. I don't know. It depends on how long I will stay there. Maybe within time, somebody can start taking the classes with me that could have something more in common with me. But so far, not getting that lucky, right? Let's see. Who knows? Anything can happen, right? But yeah, now I have the Pilates happening. Let's see how that goes. When I was traveling for work, yes, I did go around and see whatever I could. I didn't have to work much, lots of time for leisure, and it was for 6 months, different places in the country. The bad thing about that, though, regarding meeting people in those trips, right, is that they will be like far from you when you go back home, right? But I do think you did great on at least trying to go to the natural spots of those cities you stopped by. I actually, at the start of spring last year, I was going to the bar arcade every Saturday. It just got boring. The anime events got boring to me. Yeah, that's why I stopped. Right, but you are leaving, man. Only now I updated the chat though. That said, it's time for me to put on a movie and probably fall asleep. Thank you so much for stopping by, Pilot. It's always great to see you here. Take care, enjoy the movie, have a good night. Let me go back. Electro, do you know which dance would you try learning first? Like the dance style? Or any dance would do it for you? So the arcade got boring, Notros. Yeah, maybe because you were there alone, right? I have a friend like that, and eventually, yeah, you just stop saying things. This guy in particular, he has got his issues. I understand and just accept it. It's a fixture of the friendship. It actually was okay. It was Domino's, vegetarian pizza, but with real cheese. Domino's has vegetarian pizza. They have 50% of all pizzas right now, so it was hard to say no. That sounds like a good deal. He'll eventually send a text to make sure you're still there, but sorta just pretend everything you said before that is still unaddressed. I mean, outros, I think it depends on the topics as well, right? Um, Sometimes you might not have something um, that's very common to both people, like to both friends in there, to like be. getting into something deeper into the conversation, because I think that's important as well, right? You gotta have a topic that is deeper into the interest of both, and then sometimes the topics can be also very light or like very vague as well, and then maybe that's why your friend, he won't be or she won't be like giving you a lot of, like, I don't know, a crazy reply too, right? I think the topic is important too. That's also why I have trouble to connect to people, like I was saying, because many people that I end up meeting, they normally don't talk a lot about the things I like the most, and then I don't have a lot to do either. Did the anime event show any bulky? Not really, Yoda. I still haven't watched it either. I was planning to do it this week, but then I ended up like getting busy with Pilates and also my Pokemon Go friend. So yes, I still haven't watched it, but I don't know much about Bulky yet. It is Reddit's favorite anime for 2022. It got more votes than Chainsaw Man. Dude, it is exploding then. I took a few salsa classes. That was pretty fun. I wouldn't mind hip hop or even waltz. Line dancing is popular. I have never heard of line dancing, but I don't like country music. These are more like trying to make plans, not just banter. Like, I will reach out invitation or idea, no reply. I may try again, no reply. Then I may say something else, no reply. Then I just stop, and 2 weeks later, I will hear something. That sounds a lot like my friend, the one that I struggle to like do things with him, right? Even and then I'm now trying to stop doing that though. When he doesn't reply me, I'm stopping to kind of, ask for like, hey, what happened, or like, did you see my message or something, because at the same time he gave me the explanations of what's probably happening. But the thing is that sometimes, even though I may know why is that happening, like I was saying, I'm very sentimental, so I still get hurt even if I know what's probably happening. And then sometimes I may not really know how to deal with my feelings, and then I'm now trying to really unfocus from that, even if I'm still, I don't know, somewhat pissed off, or if I'm like feeling upset or something. And I'm really trying to just let time do the work and not me, because as well, I have tried so many times, like you were saying too, like you may retry and then no reply, then you may say something else, no reply. I have tried that too a lot, and then I was not really seeing, let's say, I saw some changes, but it felt like there were loops, There were moments of hopes or moments of hope, and then moments that things would go back, I don't know, 5 steps to where we were before. And then it feels like you were stuck in that loop, or at least I felt like that. And yes, I'm now trying to, like, you know what? Especially because the timing is the best for me. Because I was now trying to focus more on this Pokemon Go friend that's been more active. It has been getting a better trade with me. And I'm now, you know what? Let me focus on this. And I will not fight, at least not have a direct fight with this friend, because we have fought last year for the entire year pretty much. I will just let time do the thing here. And I also hope he realizes like why things are this way. Hence why he's also doing therapy. And then I hope the therapy has been, I don't know, making him to realize things more often, or like see how he behaves towards others and things like that. But yeah, basically I'm trying to take my energy out from what's not really returning to me that much, because otherwise I deposit my energy in there and then it doesn't come back either. You can salsa dance. I cannot dance, by the way. I used to be better at dancing to electronic music when I used to go to the rave parties, but that's ages ago, and then I can't dance anymore. The first episode is about the difficulty of making new friends. Okay, I gotta watch Boku no Rock. And you know what, Yoda? If not you, maybe my other friend, the one that recommended me it first, told me that it had a lot to do with Komi-san. And actually, that's why I liked Komi-san a lot, because it is about the struggles of making new friends, right? Yes. So I do think that I will love the show. I'm just mind blown it's that hyped. Most likely thanks to the memes, right? Summertime also got more votes than Attack on Titan. What? Do you mean Attack on Titan season 3 part 1, right? You don't mean the whole show. Yeah, it's talking about last year's debuts, right? Unfortunately, that won't be a stream redemption though. Oh, to salsa dance? I was thinking about working out a little bit, right? But I think I won't do that as a stream redemption. I wish I could dance, to be honest. Or at least I wish I could do the robot dance. Yeah, because I love Daft Punk in particular. He explained it as he gets anxiety about replying late and then doesn't at all because I feel bad. He gets anxious about replying late? Yeah, everybody has their issues, I agree. That's the thing as well, right? We never know what the other person is going through. But then at the same time, not everybody opens up about their situation. And then unfortunately, I kind of wish I could become even better about this. Like I was just saying, unfortunately, sometimes I know what's happening, but I cannot control my feelings because I still get hurt. And then I'm trying to like don't start a new fight, you know. You know that he's, I don't know, in case of my friend, you know that he's taking forever to do something. You know that he's not I don't know, replying you for something not urgent or like something that you wanted him to say something about. But sometimes it's not even his fault. But at the same time, I still get hurt. That's the thing. And then many of my other friends told me to like, hey, if it is making you to feel sad or hurt or something, maybe you should just leave, you know? And it is super complicated because sometimes it's what I feel like doing. And it's hard to do it because it hurts a lot, even more than like what I wanted. But to not get to that point, I'm trying to not really focus that much on that. So it does suck. And then I'm hoping to see what will happen within time. Because normally I do something. Normally I either get pissed off and then I fight, or I try a conversation. Yeah, let's say that every time I got to this situation right now, that's how I would act, right? But right now I kind of don't want to do the same thing I have done so far. I just want a time to, let's see what time will do. If time doesn't do anything, which in my opinion, by the way, is something that I hate, because I do think about the future a lot. I do want to see things moving to something better in the future. So I don't like the idea of like not doing anything. But just because it is the thing that I haven't tried yet, it is what I kind of have been trying to do. There was this one day that I was like, I want to say something. I want to, pretty much call for attention for the situation, or like ask what's going on, or ask what happened. But today I'm kind of glad that I didn't do, or I didn't say anything, because now I need to focus on like let time do the work. And then let's see if he will realize that this is happening because of this, and then I don't know. He could have said something sooner or something at least more important as well than what he actually told me last time. But I don't know. I just want to see what time will do for now. And then in the meantime, I will focus on something else: the new friendships, the other friends I have, my life. I don't know. It's hard because I'm when my mind gets stuck into something, it's hard to detach because that's how anxiety works. But I have been trying, and I will keep on going on that direction because I don't want to start another fight with a friend that I pretty much kind of know the results of that fight. It's going to be the same thing that it has been. So things, maybe they should happen more naturally. Just like what Ultra said right there, he won't change. Yes. So because of that too, I kind of don't wanna start a fight, because it hasn't been getting anywhere. It's still uncomfortable, and the questions don't disappear. So now that we are talking, you wanna address them. But like I said, it's just a fixture. He won't change. So he doesn't really. Yeah, because you said it kind of gives him anxiety, right? My choices are exit the friendship or take it as it is. Yeah. Electro is redeeming 10 squats. Wait, squats, right? Squats. Yeah, I have tried both actually, Ultras, in my case. But like I said, I'm now just trying to. I'm just trying to not deposit my energy anymore. I know that I'm still kind of depositing my energy because I still think about the situation. I still, you know, think about it, and then I'm trying to unfocus from that. But I'm trying to let time do the job to see. Can you hear that? I don't know what's happening. To see if something could change by his part. At least that he realizes what is happening this time right now. And for that, I'm giving him time. Instead of like getting into the conversation and being explicit, like, hey, this is bothering me. What's going on? I don't want to do that anymore. I want him to maybe reach me out or realize what's wrong. And then if really nothing happens, like under a somewhat good amount of time, then I don't know what the future will be, of course, but then I might reconsider finishing the friendship. But then it's going to be easier because distance will have happened. And then maybe that's the thing as well. Maybe we have been fighting so much because even when things are looking bad or wrong or like complicated, we haven't been giving us that distance because we always kind of fight again, and then in that fight we make amends. What if we kind of just, leave it happen, like let the distance happen? But of course I'm only doing this, maybe at least right now, because uh, on the other hand, I have been seeing this other friend being more promising with me, the Pokemon Go friend, right? And then I think I'm getting, let's say, the back support from that right now. Because maybe if I didn't have that, I could feel worse into this situation. Or even more pissed off. Or like even wanting to say something like and being more direct. And because I finally saw something else that's promising happening in my life regarding my friendships, I'm kind of trying not to act right now on that matter. But I do think things will sort out well in the end. Um, Even though I might be disappointed or pissed off or something, I don't think it's going to be the end. I think something will end up happening. I just don't know when. and then I'm trying to see how much time will pass by. I'm kind of curious to see how much time will pass by until that happens, because then I will even be able, in case we talk about this again in the future, I'll even be able to say, hey, did you notice how much time it passed by for you to like do this and do that or something? Because otherwise I would interrupt that time, that distance, and then I don't want to. Because if I do it, I think we'll go back to the same place we used it to be before. So basically that's what I have been thinking lately. Maybe get distracted by other things instead of thinking too much about it. For example, Yoda is starting Bulky no Rock. But yeah, thankfully there is also this new friend from Pokemon Go. I mean, I say new, but I met him last year, and then now we are kind of bonding a lot, right? But yeah, this new friend is also like we are chatting a lot, and then we are even meeting each other to play together. There is one bad thing though. When his classes are back, like in April, he won't have that much time to meet or like to hang out. But at the very least, the Pokemon Go meetings will keep on happening monthly. So that's good, that works for me. He's trying to be better about it, but these things expire quick. It is what it is. I'm super into avoiding conflict, so I try and not invoke it. Yeah, that's my thing though. I'm explosive, so I need to learn more how to avoid conflict, but I'm trying this time. Because I know that every time I also fight and get an answer, most of times it's something that either I already knew that was happening because of like my friend's problems, or it's something that I was maybe overthinking too. But then, of course, like deep down inside, there is always that uncertainty that maybe it is something different, like something that actually was, I don't know, bad. But I kind of don't want to really give power to those bad thoughts, right? Yeah, you guys heard the yell. I'm not sure what was that though. Today is it's oh my god, it's almost the time for my TV show. And yes, I could not start the coaster rip, but at least I was able to stream. Thank goodness. My friend I speak of, when I switch to okay, you won't bother with him mode, like I said, few weeks go by, he'll message you. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I want him to realize that, let's say, our chat or our conversation is not like progressing because he's not answering me on a thing. And then I'm like, I don't want to like knock on the chat to say, hey, you haven't answered me on this. And you know what's the worst though? I know that he real at least I had this confirmation already. I know he knows something is wrong. That's for sure because I saw the sign of that. I noticed that already. But he still haven't done anything. So I want to see what time will do. That's all. But I'm trying not to be angry. I'm trying not to be upset. It's just frustrating. Maybe that's the best word. It's frustrating. Because like I was saying, I hate seeing time passing by and nothing's happening. That's like the worst to me. But at least something is happening. But not with this friend, with this other friend, right? So for that, I'm very glad. The Leafs game is super late today. It's at 9 p.m. Now it's 10 p.m. here. So wait, is it 2 hours difference or 3 hours difference? I think it's 2 hours difference, wasn't it, Ultras? So you still gotta wait for 1 more hour, isn't it? When I was in high school, I was a little more explosive, but my personality was more about protecting friendships and wanting inclusion. Just sort of that social mindset you may have around that age. Not really explosive, but I could be dramatic. That mellowed out in college though. I had my phases as well. And then I wonder if I'm reconnecting to my old me right now, actually, because old, I mean, kind of, right? In the core, I have always been me. Because normally when I'm upset, when I'm like pissed off, I'm the master, or I used to be the master of like ignoring. Yeah, my way to like show that I'm angry or like show that I'm upset on something is like ignoring, which is kind of what upsets me too, right? But after, let's say, my fight with that group of friends that used to hang out a lot with me, and they pretty much taught me how to have a softer heart and then like value uh, my friends even more, or like to be with more people more than I used to. Um, After all of that situation that happened to me, I started speaking more out. And it's funny, sometimes I get to my triggers, then I explode, then I ignore whoever I'm fighting against. But then a couple days later, if not the next day, I open up for a dialogue. So I feel like with my with my mind more chill, or like with my nerves more chill, right? And then I can speak up what was bothering me, and then I can say what was happening to me too. But my first trigger is to act like that. It's to ignore or to block or like to go away. It's like to end this and then move on. And then only later I kind of uh, think that maybe should have had a talk, or I kind of feel like I should give this another chance, and then I try to have a reconnection and then a dialogue. But I think that right now I'm trying to reconnect to the old me to kind of ignore. Like I'm trying to ignore the situation. Hence why I'm giving time to it. But it's because I'm kind of tired as well of like always pretty much having to show off like, hey, this is what's happening, and this is annoying me, or like this bugs me or something. And then I kind of know what's going to be the outcome already, because it was what has happened for the entire last year, like the series of fights I have had with the same friend. As I don't want to have that, then I'm just trying to ignore. And then I need to start learning how to have that ignore back to me, or that ability to ignore back to me without being explosive and extra dramatic, and without as well really rupturing with everything, like ending things completely, like blocking like crazy in a very dramatic way. Yes, I'm like having the conversation open, but I'm trying to unfocus. It's hard because my mind is an anxious mind, but I'm staying strong. And then also situations like this one, like that I can vent, really help me to do that, because it's like reassuring. Like um, it's like when you say things out loud, you kind of learn it two times, right? So by saying it here out loud to you all, it kind of tells me that yes, keep on going on that direction, and then it feels right, or you kind of stop to think about the situation too, and it feels like the best to do. I gotta finish my stream though, because my TV channel, or my TV show. But let me try finishing the chat very quickly then. It was a nice stream, even without coaster building. Electro, I will see. I mean, I hate saying those things and then I end up not streaming. But tomorrow, I don't think there will be something crazy happening. But it could happen. But for example, yesterday, I was saying that I would stream, but then my Pokemon Go friend invited me to go to the shopping mall. And then I was like, of course I'll go. But tomorrow, I think nothing crazy will happen. I won't even have Pilates, right? So in case I can, I will try playing more RollerCoaster Tycoon. But yeah, tomorrow we might be able to start this coaster. He'll say unnecessary stuff like, sorry, I have been a bad friend, I'll better. I'll be better about replying I'm sorry, but I don't need any of that. Yeah, we need to have more action, right? Like when we have those fights with those friends, we need to see more action. He isn't a bad friend. I don't have what and enough in my mental bank account for energy for anyone less than a good friend. But I can also be disappointed about outcomes, be them forced or unforced. I can't be in a tangle about another human actions. I have to, at the very least, respect the autonomy of another person while still having desired expectations. Everyone became your friend the second I was the first one on your grade driving on your car to school every day. Were you actually? A few potential RCT raids. Regarding the raids, Electro, maybe we can pass on that, right? I don't know if you were here when we talked about raiding. Anyone becomes your friend in high school if you are in the highest ranked tier in Fortnite League of Legends. That's today, though. In my days, there was no thing like League of Legends, right? The second I had my license, yes, I already had a car waiting for me in my driveway. That's one thing I will never do, though. I'll never meet or make new friends thanks to like driving because I will never drive. I have only driven go karts. It's the 1990 Honda Civic CX. It's funny how, yes, Electro, I don't know about raids, man. Sometimes it's good, but I remember to make it short. Remember when I was saying that sometimes it's hard for me to connect to many people. Sometimes I feel like, I mean, it's not every time, but I feel like raids in general are kind of like a formality, and many people that stop by my channel thanks to the raids, they kind of don't get to, I don't know, anything they would expect of, and then they kind of never really, last for that long, with exceptions though, but it's kind of rare to happen. So basically, it is like a follow for a follow, or something like that. They never kind of return to watch because in here, I think it's completely different than I don't know other channels in general, especially thanks to the amount of chatting. But yes, I don't kind of feel like that great about getting rated or something. That's also why I don't do raids. I prefer when people find this like naturally and then they see and they know where they are getting at. Like, hey, this is kind of different. You see, do you like this or something? And then sure, you feel free to stay or not. But most of times, raiding has just been a formality that I don't know. You can see that Electro. Yes, I'm being straight honest to you, right? So I mean, if any raids happen, I won't also complain or like no, it can happen, but I'm just saying that um don't feel pressure, like don't do it that much, like because I think it's more like a formality. Wait, is that the car, the Honda Civic? Wait, was yours blue? Because that is a beautiful color. Okay, because he sent me two pictures of the same car, I think it was blue. I have seen other streamers that chat a lot and also play RPG games. The thing is that they probably are able to chat and play, right? Depending on the level of the chatting, I need to stop what I'm playing. But again, when I have a reappearance on my channel after a while, I kind of already expect some heavy chatting, right? Especially because I don't know if it is good or bad, but um, I do go through like a lot of crazy shit in my life, and then I come here to like vent about it a lot. So I kind of have like accumulated like amount of bad shit that has happened, and then I'm here like venting, like the freaking neck ache, shoulder ache that made me to go Pilates, and then the friend fights and everything. and then the days of insomnia, anxiety, and whatever. Or then when I go back to the past and then I talk about, I don't know, my traumas, my fights, and everything. So it ended up becoming very personal too, right? Hence why I don't tell my friends or my family about my channel. I mean, very few friends know about this, but thank goodness I hope they are not watching. There is even a channel alert to tell the streamer to get back to the game. Regarding that though, I think that's so unnecessary. I was thinking it would say there is a, I don't know, a stream alert to show the person that like the game is not the focus. Like we are chatting right now, you know? But like a general alert to go back to the game, unless something crazy is happening in the game, then sure. But outside of that, I think it is kind of unnecessary. The color name is Tahitian from Tahiti, right? Tahitian Green Pearl. RPG fans are crazy. Not sure how to take that, but I think I will agree. But guys, I gotta go because I'm already probably missing out my TV show. Ultras, I wish good luck for the Leafs today. Let's see if they can keep up with the winning streak, right? Hopefully it's going to be their third win in a row. And then Tampa, you can stay at third position, please. Don't want to, or we don't want you to keep on rising on the charts. Yoda will talk about animes next time too. Electro, I hope you can keep on enjoying JoJo. And that's it for me, guys. I will see if I'm back like either tomorrow or this weekend, at least for Golden Sun, because I also need to play that game again. But thank you so much for stopping by. Have a good night, take care, and I see you then. And then I'm saving again. There we go. Goodbye.